Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's Bold and Gold homecoming weekend, and just like Baldwin Wallace would like it, we're welcoming in one of the toughest tests on the schedule in the number 3 ranked Mountain Union Purple Raiders. The Yellow Jackets will be in their home brown uniforms with gold pants, white numerals, and lettering with gold trim, and brown and white trim down the sides of the pants with the white helmet and the interlocking BW logo on either side of the lid. The Mountain Union Purple Raiders will be in their road white uniforms with purple numbers, purple lettering, purple helmets with white face masks, and Raiders written across the side of each side of the helmet, I should say. Easy enough for me. I'm Matt Florjancic, joined in the booth today by Vince Fradiani, and we will have this Division III football matchup here for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. Taking a look at the game as a whole, the Mountain Union Purple Raiders and Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets have met 61 times. The Purple Raiders lead the all-time series by a 39-21-1 record, including victories in the last, well, I'm not going to say what the number is, but let's just say the last several contests. However, the last time they were up here, it took miracle Hail Mary at the buzzer to beat Baldwin Wallace as it deflected off of the helmet of one of the Yellow Jackets and found the hands of an All-American wide receiver named Wayne Ruby. That was 2 years ago right here on the Tressel Field turf, and it's a game that the Yellow Jackets would very much like to atone for after letting that one slip through their fingers. The series began in 1896 as the Yellow Jackets posted a 10-0 victory over the Purple Raiders in Alliance, and the last time BW won, it came in 1994 when the Yellow Jackets knocked off the Purple Raiders by a 23-10 score, also in Alliance. The last time BW won here in Berea was 1991. It was also the last time the Purple Raiders have lost an OAC road game. BW won that 21-18. So Vince, taking a look at today's game, there's no greater task on the schedule than having the number 3 team come into your building, and this is a game that Baldwin Wallace is very amped and excited for, but they can't let the emotions get in their way. They have to handle their business one play at a time to try and knock off these Purple Raiders.
Absolutely, Matt. But this Baldwin Wallace team has some momentum that they haven't had in years past, coming into this game undefeated, 3-0. They have one of the best passers in the OAC. Their defense has looked stout. Their running game has been effective. And it's homecoming weekend. What more can you ask for? There's something extra special in the air, you know, when you have the fans and you have the tailgate and everything just feels special for homecoming weekend. What a treat that would be for Baldwin Wallace to give a victory on a day like this.
No greater time.
Exactly.
No greater time than right now for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Like you said, carrying some momentum, 3-0, coming in off of a 55-21 win over the Capital University Comets down at Bernlohr Stadium in Bexley, Ohio. And they're looking to make it 4 straight victories to start the 2024 season and 3 straight wins inside Ohio Athletic Conference play. Mountain Union won the toss. They deferred to the second half. BW will take the kickoff. They'll defend the north goal here at Finnie Stadium. Mountain Union will go right to left across your computer screens in this first half, or this first quarter, I should say. BW will go left to right. Ivan Merrick kicks it off for the Purple Raiders. Singleton will let it go over his head out of the back of the end zone. It's a touchback, and the Yellow Jackets will have it 1st and 10. And some chippiness already between one of the coverage players for Mountain Union and one of the return men for the Yellow Jackets. This one's going to be physical, and no matter the rivalry, though, there's always a little more measure of respect between Baldwin Wallace and Mountain Union than, say, other teams around the conference have with Mountain Union.
And I have to wonder, do the Purple Raiders come into this game with a greater sense of urgency than normal, given that they just squeaked one out against John Carroll last week? You know, they don't look completely unbeatable this year.
37-31 was the score. Mountain Union defeated John Carroll last week. First play from scrimmage goes up the middle. It's George Lindberger out from the 25 to the 28-yard line. Called a gain of 3 on the play.
Of course, the team's leading rusher getting in there early on. Got to get that early work, try to establish some momentum.
Lindberger coming off of a 100-yard game against Capital last week, and it was really the first time we've seen this Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jacket offense hitting on all cylinders for an entire game running the football. They've struggled at times going into that Week 3 matchup, but they played well against Capital. Look to do the same today. Lindberger takes a handoff. He's immediately cut down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd and long, and that's something you want to avoid if at all possible against this Purple Raider team.
I did like the look of the pre-snap formation shift. Trying to test out the defense and see what they're going to give them. Unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, Mount Union was ready for it. They kind of stayed at home. They knew their assignments. They held back in zone, and they were ready to easily stopping the run on that play.
Mount Union, 13-time national champion. They didn't get there by accident. It's a very historically disciplined team. They play extremely well, especially on the road. Bubonics takes the snap, looking to his right, completes the pass to Conwell. No! Conwell's going to roll over and lose a handle on it. He had about 6 cracks at it before he rolled over and couldn't hang on.
It's appropriate this is college football because he gave it the old college try.
He did. I mean, he legitimately juggled it about 3 or 4 times before it was swatted away, and then he was rolled over. Conwell stays on to long snap for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Joseph Evans on the send it away. And back deep to return for the Purple Raiders, number 14, Tyler May. Evans gets away a beautiful kick. It's fielded at the 28-yard line. It was a different receiver than what we had on the roster. It's moved past midfield. What a great return for the Purple Raiders. Tyler May actually was the right player. He just wore a different number. He's number 80 now instead of number 14 on the depth chart. I mean, you only dress 100 guys. How hard is it to figure it out, right?
Of course. Well, you never know. Maybe a number comes open midseason. Maybe there's a little negotiation between the players. Hey, I'll do you a little solid if you can give me something.
We have to worry
here.
about that in college now?
You know what? I think at every level now, the number just means so much.
Absolutely. Noah Beaudry in at quarterback for this Mountain Union Purple Raider team. He'll start off in the shotgun. He has a wing on the left side, sends that man in motion to the right. Takes a snap, flares it out to the running back. It's caught in the backfield, and the Yellow Jackets will push him to the sideline. Credit Hasim Rashid and linebacker Zach Soul with the pursuit to send the running back out of bounds. That's Tyler Echeverry, and that is a young man that you cannot let get open in space. 2-yard loss, drops the Purple Raiders back to the Yellow Jacket 49-yard line, and starting off with great field position as they started the drive at the 47, but still 2nd and 12 now after the pass play out of the backfield. Beaudry fakes the handoff, throws it right side. That's caught by Jerry Cooper, and he's going to be short of the first down as he gets the ball close to the 41-yard line, so he's going to be about 4 yards short.
Hasim Rashid has excellent sideline speed. He did the way on that first down play, the way he was able to stretch the line and really prevent the ball carrier from turning the corner. I really like that. And it was interesting that they tested the field to the other side on that second down play.
Hasim Rashid is one of the best defensive linemen you're going to see. BW has had historically some really good defensive linemen, and he's right in that line as well. Timeout on the field. It's going to be a timeout for the Purple Raiders. That's their first of the half. They have 2 more. And while we have this opportunity, we're going to, if I can find the reads, there we are.
I'll make a couple up for you if you want.
No, that's all right. I knew I had them. I just had the ones from last season, too. Today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. 3rd and 4 for the Purple Raiders from the Yellow Jacket 41-yard line. Cooper goes in motion right to left. Handoff goes to Echevarri. He's going to try to turn the corner right side, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down marker. It'll bring up 4th and short for the Purple Raiders.
He tried to clear out a defender by using that motion, and the defense was still ready for it. And again, that speed to stretch to the sideline and to cut off the receiver, or the running back in this case, from turning the corner, it just seems to be a real hallmark of this defense. to not let the play get behind them.
So far, so good in terms of preventing the running back from really turning the corner and getting upfield. Hopefully that stays the same for the Yellow Jackets the rest of the way. Beaudry fakes a handoff, keeps it himself. He's around the corner to the 30, 25, skips over a man, gets upended and flies somewhere near the 20-yard line before he is stopped by landing on his backside. He gets up, fortunately for him, and the Purple Raiders, and he's able to get back to the huddle.
You know, one of the hallmarks for this Baldwin Wallace defense this season has not allowing those opening drive scores. They're really getting tested here on this opening drive here for the Purple Raiders.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you have the number 3 team in the country coming into your house.
A little bit. It's a good test, though.
Absolutely. Beaudry fakes the handoff. Good pressure inside, and the pass is too tall. That was intended for Tyrell Sanders. And one of the Yellow Jackets, Bryce Sanders, as you said, he almost got a hand on the quarterback, but almost doesn't count.
You love to get an inside rush, too. That is a really game-changing, this team has very good defensive ends who can get that edge rush, but when you get a rush up the middle, too, especially against some very big, stout offensive linemen that they have at Mount Union, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing that the Yellow Jackets are going to want to key on, trying to get pressure from all sides. Late substitution comes on for the Purple Raiders. That's Sean Thomas in the backfield. Echevarri takes the handoff, tries to test middle, and it's Asim Rashid who says, "Thank you very much. I will be greeting you at the line of scrimmage and stopping you after maybe a gain of a half yard."
It does seem like Mount Union has really gotten their rushing yards in little bits and pieces outside of that one quarterback play. They have had to earn it the hard way against this Yellow Jackets defense.
The Yellow Jackets standing tall so far, need a couple more stops to keep the Purple Raiders off the scoreboard. We'll see if they can get them here. 4 wide receivers set, 3 out left, 1 out and wide, one-on-one coverage. That's Sanders. Now motion man, that's Tyler May, goes left to right. Beaudry takes the snap. He's looking to his left. Looking over the middle, completes it to May, and he gets it to the 10-yard line, and they're going to signal for a first down. It was right on the spot that he needed.
Yeah, I think he was mid-air when he caught it around the 10, but then the tackle took him back before his feet were planted, and that's why it was kind of questionable there.
So it'll be first and goal for the Purple Raiders now. And the ball is spotted right at the Yellow Jacket 10-yard line.
That's going to be every bit of those 10 yards to get in there.
Yep, absolutely. 100% couldn't agree more. One man goes out wide left. That's number 16, Nick Turner. Now motion man goes right to left across the formation. Echevarri trying to turn the corner. Gets the ball to the 5 and bowls his way in across the goal line for a Mount Union Purple Raider touchdown. Purple Raiders enjoy a 6-0 lead over the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets with 9:28 to play in the first quarter.
Well, it was everything you look for in an opening drive as far as offense is concerned. You control the tempo, you establish the run as early as you can, and a lot of these teams in the OAC, they like to run the football. They don't have to air it out too often, and when you have big, solid running backs who can do that and control the tempo, you're in good shape.
Ivan Merrick on to attempt the extra point. The snap is back. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union with a 7-0 lead over the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets after forcing the punt. The Purple Raiders march 47 yards to hit pay dirt thanks to Echevarri's 10-yard touchdown run. Well, we have this break in the action. Also want to remind you that today's game is being brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics, Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event, and Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket football game against the Mount Union Purple Raiders on BWYellowJackets.com.
A lot of parents in town for homecoming weekend. I saw a bunch of them. I was down that way on Front Street. Saw a lot of them streaming in and out of Mike's Bar.
Yeah, Mike's is a very well-known establishment here in Berea. I was talking to some people at my day job in Parma earlier yesterday, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we know that place. It's a great place." So the word gets around when you have good food in Berea.
Absolutely.
Merrick will tee it up at the 35. Flag stands a little bit still. It'll be fielded by Singleton. He's going to bring it out 4 yards deep from the end zone. He gets popped at the 12, falls forward to the 16. He had it go through his hands. over his head into the end zone, and he elected to bring it out after recovering it somewhere around 4 yards deep. Gutsy call. Gets the ball out to the 16-yard line.
I think the ball did touch his body from outside of the goal line, though. So I think he was a little worried about, if he tries to take a knee, that could be ruled a safety.
Yeah. The ball will be spotted, I should say, at the 15, not the 16. And Bubonics and the Yellow Jackets are pinned back once again in their own territory. 3 receiver, look out left. Handoff goes to Limburger. He pushes the pile maybe to the 16 and gains 1 before he is stacked up and dropped by the whole of the Mount Union defensive front 7 led by number 1, Rossi Moore, the 6'2", 225-pound senior linebacker.
Yeah, they run a very kind of a hybrid defense. They have that one big nose tackle in the middle, and then they run kind of 5 guys. It's almost like a 1-5-4 alignment. It allows for them to really rush the passer from anywhere they want, or drop them into coverage for that matter.
Bubonics takes a quick snap, fires it out right side, and it is incomplete. Mikel Love thought he handled it, but he was out of bounds when he was able to snare it. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 from the BW 16-yard line. And going back to your point, it's not quite a UFO defense where you have guys dropping back and forth. We've seen that before, but it's just like one stout guy in the middle, and everybody takes their cues right from that guy.
Yeah, they look like they're employing a lot of zone defense as well, which is really good against the run in these situations, especially when they're running right kind of in the middle of the field.
Bubonics takes a snap, looks right, throws it over the middle, and a flag comes in as one of the Purple Raiders took a ride on the back of a Baldwin Wallace receiver, Colin Quinlan.
Looks like it was 28 John Rowland, the safety, who was draped all over him.
Absolutely. The flag was thrown at the 30-yard line.
Kind of looked like he was wearing a cape when he went down, but the cape was made of Purple Raider.
It's a defensive pass interference. Any way to get Vince to get a comic book reference, you're going to find it today. Just letting you know in advance, everyone. The ball will be spotted after the penalty at the 30-yard line, so it's a first down for the Yellow Jackets. Quinlan goes in motion, left to right. Now it's trips on the right side. Limburger takes a handoff, trying to find some space. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage, get 2 yards out to the 32, and he's not going to go any further. I tell you what, if Limburger gets to the 100-yard mark today, he's going to probably have to have 40 carries to do it, and he's going to have a lot of bruises to go along with it.
Absolutely. He did have that second burst right after that first contact, and that would have been the opportunity to gain additional yardage, but this Mount Union defense, they don't miss a lot of tackles.
No, they don't play around either. 3 receivers bunched to the right, man in motion to the left, and now we've got all sorts of motion.
And again, that defense doesn't move at all.
No, they don't. Wing on the left side now with 2 receivers out right. Bubonics takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking to his right. He's flushed out of the pocket to his left, slides, and, well, I guess you could say that was a dive forward, and he's met by 2 Purple Raiders at the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and these first couple of downs, it doesn't look like Mount Union has been fooled by the alignments and the shifts. And that first down, they gave him a pass look, ended up going with more of a draw play. Second down, they went right to the air, and they were ready for that too.
Absolutely. This Mount Union defense, you're not going to catch them napping too often, but you better make sure that it counts when you do. Just past the midway point of the first quarter. Sorry, partner, go ahead.
No, it certainly speaks to the versatility of some of these players. They're not your traditional defensive linemen you see with their hand in the dirt. A lot of them are a little smaller. They're a little faster. They can pretty much do anything you ask them to as far as movement.
Bubonics flares it out to Mikel Love. He's out past the 35, out to the 38 before he's ushered out of bounds by one of the Purple Raiders. And that will bring up 4th and short. And it looks like Baldwin Wallace will send on the punting unit, and that's Joseph Evans who will do the honors. And Tyler May, sporting the number 80, not the number 14, will be back to return. And he had a great one in the on the first drive that Baldwin Wallace punted on. BW looking for better coverage this time.
It's always a little frustrating when a drive stalls this close to midfield, but you got to play the game, and you got to try to play the field position game at this point.
Conwell's snap is a high one. Evans catches it, gets the kick away somehow. It's a wobbler, tight to the Yellow Jacket sideline, takes a nice hop at the 28, rolls down inside the 20, maybe to the 16.
Yeah, was it 16 or 15 there?
It's going to be the 15 where the official will spot the ball. It'll be 1st and 10 Purple Raiders, so now Mount Union has some work to do on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, we'll see how they do with a little bit of a longer field. You know, they did start to tucker out at one point in that drive. I thought things were going to sputter on that last Mount Union possession, but then they kind of found a way to pick up a bit of chunk yardage, and that kind of, I think, put the Yellow Jackets on their heels a little bit.
So second drive for the Purple Raiders. They're looking to build on a 7-0 advantage over Baldwin Wallace. 6:28 left to go here in the first quarter of play. Beaudry takes the snap, fakes a handoff. He'll keep it himself. Get across the 15 out to the 18-yard line, and not much more. So called a gain of 3.
The defense still got there. It just, those 3-yard gains, you know, they'll start chipping you down with those, and you take what the defense, or the defense kind of will have to work their way a little uphill here against this Purple Raiders offense, because they seem to be getting, they don't have those 1- and 2-yard gains, those 3- and 4-yard gains.
Yeah, and those add up to first downs. Beaudry takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it deep over the middle to Turner. Turner catches it at the 45, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Purple Raiders. Nick Turner with the receiving touchdown, and that will double up the Mountain Union lead after the extra point try. Stoppage and play. The official on the far side is running to a midfield, and I think there's going to be a sideline warning against Mountain Union.
Well, you know, you get excited with those deep passes. You know, it's exciting when you have a guy that's streaking down the field and gets behind a defense. But, yeah, you do have to make sure you observe those rules. Boy, that was a tough one, too, because if you're Baldwin Wallace, you kind of want to stay at home a little bit in case they try to run.
Absolutely. You wanted to stay home, but didn't get enough pressure. Beaudry with a clean pocket, and when you have a guy like Turner who goes 5'8", 170, but runs like the wind, you better keep step for step with him. If you let him get behind, you're just going to be looking at the back of the jersey. So Merrick on to attempt the extra point. Sideline, it wasn't just a sideline warning. It was actually a sideline penalty on the Mount Union head coach, Jeff Dart.
So they'll assess that on the kickoff?
They'll assess that on the kickoff. I guess if there's going to be a guy that gets a sideline penalty, it better be the head coach.
Right.
If anybody else is going to get real comfortable sitting on the bench.
That's right.
Merrick will attempt the extra point. Snap is back, ball is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace nothing. 5:43 left to go here in the first quarter of play. And a Mount Union rolling 2 for 2 on drives that end in the end zone.
Boy, that quick strike ability is hard to do anything about.
100%. But the thing of it is, for the Yellow Jackets, now you have to find a way to respond. You cannot continue to play the field position game. You have to find a way to score touchdowns now. You know what you're in for. You know this is a tough opponent. You know coming from behind is going to be very difficult, and you cannot let the score get out of hand.
And you have to wonder how soon before they kind of step away from the game plan of running on early downs and really committing hard to the running game when you need to start picking up yardage much faster than the running game will often allow.
Yeah, 100%. It's a tough call, but it's one that has to be made. You have to figure out a way to get the ball down the field, and if you're getting bottled up in the run game, you have to take advantage. And that's not saying that the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets haven't had opportunities passing the football. They have. It's just a couple of times the pass has either been off target or dropped.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a concentration factor here, and it might be a little bit of butterflies just playing against a team, a nationally ranked team, you know, knowing that that kind of experience is coming your way. And perhaps as the game goes on, things will start to slow down for some of these players.
Merrick puts a high kick off into Yellow Jacket territory. It's fielded at the 24. It's Singleton up past the 30 to the 40, 45, and he stopped at the 46-yard line. So the Yellow Jackets take advantage of that penalty on Mount Union's head coach Jeff Dart as they were kicking from the 20. Merrick tried to give his guys an opportunity to get down in coverage, and he may have outkicked them.
I'm very curious to see how the coaching responds to the looks that they've been getting from this defense, the way that they really haven't been responding to a lot of pre-snap motions. I'm very curious to see if maybe they'll try a little bit more pass here instead of run when they're showing zone and staying so close to the line of scrimmage.
So 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets at their own 45-yard line. Bubonics with 2 receivers off left. Handoff goes to Victor Ford Jr.
Nice
Good pressure up front by that offensive line. Good push, I should say, getting the ball out to the 49-yard line.
And this Baldwin Wallace offensive line, it's a bunch of big guys. It's a big unit. And at this level, in Division III, when you can get some of these bigger, earth-moving kind of offensive linemen, that is a good thing to have. And I think they can have their way with some of these smaller defensive men up front if they keep to this kind of game plan.
Handoff goes inside to Victor Ford Jr. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he is bottled up. And we've got some Purple Raiders and Yellow Jackets getting tied up playing through the whistle. Fortunately, no tempers flare. Just good, old-fashioned physical football in the Ohio Athletic Conference.
And you like to see a little bit of smash-mouth ball in a rivalry game like this.
Absolutely. It's part of what makes the rivalry special. It's a nice physical game. And that's what you want when you get 2 rival schools playing against each other. 3rd and 6 now from the Yellow Jacket 49-yard line. Bubonics takes the snap, looks immediately to the right. He completes the pass for first down yardage and more into Purple Raider territory. That's Oliver Kelleher, the graduate transfer student, making the reception for the first down via an actual scrimmage play and not a penalty.
And the Purple Raiders, they only kept 1 deep safety on that play, so it was really kind of a quarterback's choice where he was going to go with that one.
Bubonics with a flare out left to Colin Quinlan. Gets the ball to the 40 from the 42, so called a gain of 2 to bring up 2nd and 8. Four receiver look. Quinlan, Conwell, Kelleher out wide to the right. One man, Connor Awad, out left. Bubonics flares it to Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield. He's trying to get outside, gets a block from Kelleher, but couldn't get one from Conwell to seal it. Looked like maybe the inside was open. He tried to get further outside and unable to turn the corner against his Purple Raider defense.
Yeah, I think a lot of backs, especially ones that consider themselves to be a little more of a speed back, they tend to like to try to hunt for the edge to turn the corner because they see that's where they can hit a home run. But sometimes you don't need to hit a home run. You just need to hit a couple singles.
So we're going with the Cleveland Guardians reference now after the comic book reference.
Well, I like to mix and match, you know.
4 receivers set for the Yellow Jackets. 3 out wide left, 1 out wide right. That's Kelleher in one-on-one coverage. Bubonics looks right. Now he's going to scramble, throw it middle. It's Conwell with the catch, and Conwell absolutely got crushed by Rossi Moore after catching the ball. No yards after the catch on that one, but makes it a 4th and short.
They're staying on the field.
I mean, he has the 33. He needs the 32.
Yeah, it's a little too long probably for a field goal at this point.
I mean, Evans has a good leg. There's not really wind, but in a touchdown fight, you're not going to be attempting too many field goals.
Exactly.
Kelleher, one-on-one coverage outright.
This defense is seeing run. You can tell they're staying very close to the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. There's about 9 guys close to the line of scrimmage. Lindberger fakes. It's a keeper. It's Bubonics to the 20, to the 15, 10, and he has first down yardage for the Yellow Jackets. Mount Union bit on the inside handoff to Lindberger, and Bubonics said, you know what, I'm just going to take it around right end and get a first down and more to set up a 1st and goal for the Yellow Jackets.
That was a perfect play call to dial up in that situation. The defense over-committed to that up-the-middle run. And I don't think they were expecting that in the slightest. I don't even think that was in the universe of things that they were even possibly anticipating.
First down, Yellow Jackets. Ball spotted at the Mount Union 10. Bubonics takes the snap, looking to his right. He's stepping up, and he's going to get sacked at the 11-yard line. Rossi Moore gets in there. He had the initial hit, and then defensive end Von Factor finished off the hit. That's a fantastic name for a defensive end, by the way.
And he's a major factor on this defense. He's the team leader in sacks.
He's going to add to that total right there as he picks up a half a sack as the Yellow Jackets lose a yard. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the Mount Union 11-yard line. 1:23 on a running first quarter clock. Mount Union in front of the Yellow Jackets, 14-0. 4 receivers set. Quinlan and Awad go out left. Conwell and Kelleher stacked out wide right. Bubonics takes the snap, flares it short to Conwell. He turns the corner, gets to the 6, steps out of bounds, and then for good measure takes a good solid hit right there by Brandon Janssens, the junior safety.
Yeah, he's been getting knocked around a little bit on this drive.
I talked to Tim earlier in the week, and I also talked to Coach Jim Hilvert about Tim Conwell earlier this week, and he said, Tim's just one of those players that's deceptive on the football field. He doesn't look like a typical football player, but when he's on the field, he's strong, he's smart, and he just makes good plays, and that's why he's a fan favorite of the Yellow Jackets. Conwell goes in motion now around the quarterback's backside. Bubonics on the slant, and it is in between a host of Purple Raiders, and there was quite the collision there as there was some friendly fire in there, and Colin Quinlan as well delivered a hit. One of the Purple Raiders is down, and he'll be attended to by the Mount Union training staff.
Colin Quinlan had an opening there on that inside slant. He looked like it was going to be a sure thing, but there's nothing for sure when you're playing at the goal line.
Not against the number 3 team in the country either. 32 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. It's Mount Union with a 14-point lead over the Yellow Jackets, who have a 4th down and goal coming up from the Mount Union 6-yard line.
You were talking about Tim Conwell earlier, and one of the things I noticed, he's listed on the roster at 5'9", but when he's out there, he plays like he's 6'2",
He's a lot bigger than 5'9", when you look at him. I had a chance to talk with him earlier this week, and dude is tough. He's wiry, as Gene Hackman's character, easy enough to say, in the replacements would describe one of his players. I believe that was the kicker from across the pond. But, Tim Conwell, just a deceptively good football player, and he's the kind of guy that every team really needs.
Well, they're going for it on 4th down again here at the goal line.
6 yards to pay dirt for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. 3 receivers set and 1 tight end on the right side. The tight end is Austin Shuck. Awad goes in motion right to left. Bubonics takes the snap. He's looking for Shuck over the middle, and it's incomplete. The Yellow Jackets were hoping for some help from the officials and in the form of a yellow flag, and none came. It'll be 1st and 10 Mount Union after the goal line stand.
Yeah, that's a difficult decision for officials when you have that kind of traffic in there. The ball was a little high. I mean, the ball kind of had to be high because of all the traffic there. But you wonder if it was a little bit lower, if that would have ended up being a flag with how physical things were getting in the end zone.
It's hard to overshoot a 6'5", 235-pound tight end. I'm just going to say that Shuck was able to still get up there despite being 235 pounds. He was able to get a hand on it, but unable to snare it. So now the Purple Raiders will go 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line. Boudry in at quarterback. He calls for a shift in alignment. Now they have a wing on the right side of the formation. 2 wide receivers set, 1 on each side. Handoff goes, or rather it's a keeper, I should say. Boudry even got me on the play fake and ran up the middle, got to roughly the 8-yard line, called a gain of 2.
The Yellow Jackets didn't seem very fooled by the play fake. I think they might have seen that somewhere before.
Yeah, maybe so. They limit the Mount Union Purple Raiders to 2 yards, and that will bring the first quarter to an end. The Mount Union Purple Raiders lead the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets here on Bold and Gold Homecoming Weekend by the score of 14-0. We're going to step aside for a brief break. When we come back, second quarter action on BWYellowJackets.com. Good first quarter. This is the first time I've ever sat during a football game that wasn't the European League where I had a screen that was 3 inches by 3 inches. If it gets exciting, I'll stand up. I'm trying. I just got to walk back to the Union. That's it. That's all I got to make it to. Nice. They got a new pinball shop there. That's good for them. Yeah, I was seeing it progress, and I was like, you know what, that's good. Good local business. You're trying to get Kenny Crumpton? Yeah. Nice. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field inside the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Matt Florjancic and Vince Fradiani on the call of today's Yellow Jacket homecoming football game against the Mount Union Purple Raiders as we get set to start the second quarter of play. It's Mount Union 14, Baldwin Wallace nothing. Mount Union backed up in a 2nd and 8 from their own 8-yard line after making a goal-to-go stop on the Yellow Jackets' third drive of the game.
It's been a deceptively one-sided score because Baldwin Wallace has put up a really good showing. It's just, going up against the number 3 team in the country is a tough task.
Boudry, plenty of time. He'll complete it for first down yardage and more. That's Cooper
Oh, he gets
breaking
3.
loose at the 40, gets across midfield to the 45 of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets before he's pushed out, and he might get all the way to the 40, says the head linesman. Big gainer right there. Another big pass play for this Purple Raider team.
Boy, that missed arm tackle was a real killer. It turned a good play into a great one for the Purple Raiders.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line. 2 receivers go out left, 2 out right. Turner and Sanders out at the numbers. Motion man goes right to left. Boudry takes the snap, gives it to Darnell Williams. He's across the 35 to the 30, 25, 20, and steps out of bounds inside the 20. He had a good block right there by Nick Turner. And the thing I liked about Turner's block on that one, after he made initial contact, he just stuck his hands up in the air and kept himself in the way without committing a holding penalty.
Yep. Another missed tackle on that play, too. It's a concerning trend that we're starting to see on this drive that we haven't seen to this point in this game.
It's something the Yellow Jackets are going to have to clean up if they're to get back into this game.
Well, especially because this defense is known for its discipline.
100%. Motion man is Sanders going right to left. Boudry fakes a snap, throws it deep down the middle to Turner. He lays out, and he can't get it. Credit one of the Yellow Jacket defenders. That was Zach Soul, the linebacker. He put major heat on Boudry and forced him to throw off that back foot. That's why that pass sailed. Turner was wide open and just couldn't haul it in on the dive. Had Boudry been able to put his right foot into the ground, we're probably talking a different story here.
Yeah, I think it was a case of Turner just turning his head the wrong direction at first, and he couldn't get it under it just in time because he was in position otherwise.
Turner will go out wide right in the slot. That'll be Cooper. Out left is Sanders with Williams in the backfield.
There's no safety support on that left side of the field either.
Boudry takes the snap, hands off to Williams. He's across the 15, 10, and inside the 10-yard line, close to a first down. We will see if he has it, and he does. It'll be 1st and goal for the Purple Raiders at the Baldwin Wallace 8-yard line. (13:27) on a running second quarter clock. Mount Union knocking on the door of a 3-score lead. They're already up 14-0.
Haven't seen Echeverria to this point in this drive, have we?
No, it's been Williams. Boudry takes a snap, fakes a handoff to Williams. He's going to tuck it himself, get spun around at the 5, get to the 3, haul across the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown.
Oh.
The officials say that the Yellow Jackets never actually got him down. Boudry's going to score a touchdown unless we have an officials conference here.
Because I think the Yellow Jackets thought that he was down. But it might have been one of those things where he kind of did the trampoline off of a player and got right back up.
I don't think his knee never touched, is what the official said. And I think that's a good call. He got spun around, but he landed on a Yellow Jacket.
Yep, exactly.
So technically he was not down, and he was smart and stayed with the play and got the ball across the goal line.
Boy, tough break for Baldwin Wallace, though.
The big play has come back to bite the Yellow Jackets again on this third scoring drive for Mount Union. That's 2 straight where they've gotten hit for a big play. Merrick on to attempt the extra point. The snap is back, the ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union all over the Yellow Jackets early in this one. They lead it 21-0 with 13:03 left to go in the half.
There's plenty of football left to go, but being down by 3 touchdowns now, and it's early on in the second quarter, that's going to be a tough hole to dig out of.
100%. You're going up against one of the top teams in the country, and there's no, I don't want to say lull or hangover, but following that victory over John Carroll last week, there's no hesitation in this Purple Raider team at all. They had a very physical game that came down to the fourth quarter of play. They played a full 60-minute game last week, and they're not messing around today. They're coming out on all cylinders, ready to go against this Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jacket team.
Yeah, you could tell when they were in a dogfight like that, they really felt the need to. I think they felt a sense of urgency to know that if you don't play 4 quarters and you don't play every down, then you can become vulnerable. John Carroll, I think, exposed a little bit there, and they're certainly not exposing much here today.
Mount Union will tee it up at its own 35-yard line. Singleton, one of the deep men for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, along with Mikkel Love. Merrick will kick it away. Puts the right foot into it. Slight breeze at his back, and it'll go over Singleton's head out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets.
It's tough, too, because Mount Union doesn't lose very often. You can count on one hand.
You don't say.
Well, you can count on one hand the number of times they've lost in the last few years. I think they're riding a 65-game winning streak right now.
It's the number one winning streak across all divisions in college football. 65 straight wins in the regular season. And we should have a little bit of a disclaimer. We are next to a coach's box here in the press box, so if you hear some language that's not safe for TV, we apologize for you.
The glass is fairly thick.
Xavier Bolson in at quarterback. He completes a pass out to the right to Colin Quinlan. Gets the ball out to the 33-yard line. Bolson will get a gain of 8 on the pitch and catch to Colin Quinlan. Second and 2. Bunch receivers to the right side of the formation. 3 receivers out wide right. Bolson again completes it. It's first down yardage and more out near the 40-yard line for first down yardage. It's Mikkel Love on the reception. Go ahead, Vince.
I like the quick start on this drive, and I like that they're working the sidelines early to try to negate some of that aggression that they've had up the middle. The interior run game has been kind of up and down, and I think it's a lot because the Purple Raiders have really been keying in on the middle of the field, and they've been leaving a lot open on the sidelines, and they're definitely trying to exploit that here.
Bolson takes the shotgun snap. He'll tuck it and run it. Get across the 40, and he'll get spun back to the 39, but they're going to give him forward progress out to the 41-yard line.
Anytime you can gain any positive yardage, take it. If it's a half
100%.
a yard, 1 yard, it doesn't matter. You know, especially against a buzzsaw of a team like the Purple Raiders. Just chip away, because you never know. You could have a 9-yard pass play on the next.
You never know when you're going to hit a home run.
Exactly.
And like you said, a lot of singles can add up to a home run.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
Are we going to put a jar on the table to tally our other sports and pop culture references today? We probably should. Bolson flares a wide receiver out left. He's going to take it himself again. Has a lead blocker in front. Gets out of one tackle. Loses the football. It's scooped up by the Raiders at the 44. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. Mount Union. Marcus Jackson, the linebacker, scoop and score to increase Mount Union's lead even further.
That is a legitimately backbreaking play. The Yellow Jackets had everything going for them on this drive. It felt like they had some momentum. They were executing well. And then out of nowhere, there's one of those difference-making type of plays.
Merrick will come on to attempt the extra point. On the hold, it's junior Mike Franklin. The long snapper is Jared Pasco. He's a sophomore. The snap is high, and somehow the snap got down by Franklin. Credit Franklin. Anytime you see a holder come out of the snap or come out of his crouch and have to stand up to get the ball, you're thinking bad things are going to happen. He just simply bent over, did not panic, put the ball down, and let Merrick kick it through like it was just another day at the office.
You have to wonder how often they practice the high snap, because he did. He seemed uncharacteristically cool in that situation.
You've never seen a play like that at any level, really. As soon as that snap goes awry, usually the play gets aborted right away, and then you're trying to just find somebody to throw it to hope you can get across the goal line for a 2-point conversion. But credit Franklin staying calm, cool, and collected under pressure and getting the hold down. It's now Mount Union 28, Baldwin Wallace nothing, with 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter of play.
Well, on the bright side, the Yellow Jackets did get some good looks at some vulnerabilities in this Mount Union defense on that last drive. It'll be interesting to see if they can kind of build on some of the stuff that they may have been learning, as they were executing pretty well in the first few plays before that fumble.
Merrick to tee it up at the 35. Singleton and Love back deep to return. Merrick with a high arching kick that'll be fielded by Singleton at the 2. He's across the 10, gets to the 20, looking to get outside. 30, 40, 50. He's across midfield. Merrick, the one man to beat. He gets out of a tackle, but it slowed him up enough that he got stopped. A big-time return by Tyrone Singleton to get the ball to the Mount Union 30-yard line and maybe the 28, depending upon the spot.
Matt, that's just the thing they needed. They needed a spark, something to put Mount Union on their heels, to rally the troops, to get this crowd back in this game. I mean, you look down in the stands, and there is really no open seats. There are families here. It's pretty much filled with black and yellow all the way across.
Gold.
I would get myself in trouble.
Black and gold, bold and gold weekend, Vince. Bold and gold. Just keep repeating it to yourself. 4 receivers set. Bubonic's back in. He slips a pass on the slant route from the left side of the formation to Conwell. Gains the 22-yard line, so call it a gain of 8 to bring up 2nd and 2. Obviously, you've got quite the mountain to climb if you're the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, but it starts small. You got to score 1 before you can score 4.
Exactly. Just keep moving down the field. Just keep playing. Don't give up, and that's all you can do.
4 receivers set. It's flared out to Conwell at the 25. He makes the catch, gets across the 20, first down yardage down to the 16. Sorry for over-talking you, partner. Go ahead.
Absolutely. No. I like that they're continuing to get Conwell involved. We saw that on a prior drive where, they try to use those screen plays and those dump-offs to the outside, and it does seem to yield pretty positive results for them.
And it did on that play as it got the ball to the 16-yard line of Mount Union. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. 4 receivers set, 3 out left, 1 out right, and Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield. Bubonics looks to his right, looks back left, and then he just slides down before getting a crunching hit. Discretion the better part of valor on that one, but a loss of 6 would bring up 3rd and long.
It was really pouring earlier this morning. I do wonder if the turf might be a little slick still.
It very well could be. It was raining all last night. Excuse me, by the way. That was 2nd and long now. Yesterday I was here for the Toledo Central Catholic game against St. Ignatius, and it was pouring throughout that entire game, especially in the second half and beyond. Bubonics takes the snap on 2nd and long, looking right. Throws it in the direction of Kelleher. Lots of contact going back and forth, and the official's going to let them play on and say that the pass was incomplete.
Tony Hook was the man in coverage, and he was the one who was making contact with the receiver. You just got to wonder. They're letting these guys play, but because you never want to let a penalty change the complexion of a game. But sometimes when things get a little physical, you wonder how physical are they going to let it get.
Kelleher in a one-on-one coverage on the right side. 3 wide receivers out left. Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield with Bubonics on his left side.
Send a blitz off the left.
Bubonics
He's unabated.
Throws deep down the field, and that's going to be pass interference.
Absolutely.
That was a cheap shot right in the back. Taking that cheap shot was Harley Barman, the freshman receiver from Solon, and Brandon Jansen just goes up right in his back and delivers a shot with his shoulder. That does not feel good.
Yeah, and you could see when he came up, he was kind of holding his hip and trying to pop himself back into place a little bit there. That was a pretty brutal shot.
We'll see if it's just interference or if they throw a targeting call in here.
I think unnecessary roughness for sure.
Well, I mean, there's opportunities for it's basically pick your poison at this juncture. I mean, there's about 3 different calls you can make. So we'll turn it over to the officials. So it's pass interference is the call. It's a 15-yard penalty, but since the Yellow Jackets are within the 25-yard line, it'll actually move the ball to around the 7, it looks like, once we walk off the penalty, because it should be a half the distance call.
Yeah, I think they went for the most severe yardage penalty. I think that's what the officials were going for, just based on how egregious that hit looked in the end zone.
It did not look good. It was a legit shot that Jansen's threw at the Yellow Jacket wide receiver Harley Barman. And credit Barman for being able to get up and sort of shake that off. It'll be 1st and goal now for the Yellow Jackets at the Mount Union 7. They had a 1st and goal at the 6 on their previous drive, and they were stopped short of the goal line. 3 receivers set. Handoff goes to Victor Ford Jr. He's trying to bounce it outside. He is going to be dropped in the backfield. That's a loss of 3 as he's taken down at the 10.
Yeah, he definitely is very willing to try to test the edge. And sometimes I think you just need to crash inside, follow your blockers, and just get that 1 or 2 yards. Because at that point, now they're running backwards, and you definitely don't want that. Not against this defense.
No, not at all.
Especially the way that they've been chipping on some of these players. You know, there aren't a lot of openings and opportunities down the field.
2nd and goal from the Mount Union 10-yard line. A wing on the right side, 3 receivers in the formation. Victor Ford Jr. the back. Bubonics takes a snap. Fade route to Kelleher, and it's batted away by the Mount Union Purple Raider defender, Tony Cook, the senior cornerback. Got a hand on it and swatted it away.
Yeah, it's just one of those 50-50 balls. You know, you try to put it up for one of your guys, see if they can come down with it, make some magic happen. And, you know, when you throw it to one of your big guys like that, I mean, that's what you got those 6+ foot guys in the end zone to do. You know, you try to give them the jump ball, give them an opportunity to come down with 6.
I mean, you're talking about Kelleher, who has 12 receptions for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is tied for the team lead coming into today's game. Bunch receivers to the left side of the formation. It's Barman, Conwell, and Connor Awad. Kelleher out top by himself. Bubonics looking right. He's going to be sacked at the 20-yard line. And they're going to give him forward progress to the 19, but he had some heat off a left tackle and did not get rid of the ball in time.
I think the first contact, though, was actually one of his own offensive linemen. I think it was the left guard who was backpedaling kind of into him.
Got tangled up,
yeah,
and then could not escape the heat. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 19-yard line. Awad and Kelleher go out the widest, closest to the numbers. Conwell and Barman off on the left side in the slot. Lindberger the back in the backfield. Bubonics takes the snap, looking to his right, over the middle now. Now he's going to try to step up in the pressure, throws it on the run. Kelleher in the back of the end zone. He caught it, and it's a touchdown for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Oliver Kelleher had legitimately 0 space left to haul in that pass, but he did, and it's a Yellow Jacket score.
And credit to Bubonics for keeping that play alive. There was a couple opportunities for the Purple Raiders to get a sack, and he was undeterred. He rolled outside of the pocket, and all the coverage, I think they thought the play was over at one point by the time he got into the open field, and that was a really nice job just getting open the back of the end zone by Kelleher.
High snap, it gets down, and Evans will punch it through the uprights to give the Yellow Jackets their 7th point of the day. They now trail Mount Union 28-7 with 7:12 left to go here in the first half. That's a nice response for the Yellow Jackets. Now the defense has to put in some work and get a stop.
And, Matt, you said it earlier. You know, the first step on the road to a comeback is just to get a score on the board. And the fact now that the Yellow Jackets have put one in the end zone, they have 7 points on the board, that, I think, tells the bench, that tells the players on the field, that tells them everybody, hey, this team is beatable. You can take them down. There is a formula to do it. It's just a matter of repetition.
Exactly. You have to be consistent in your approach, and you can't make mistakes against this Mount Union team. And Baldwin Wallace has probably made a handful, and they've gotten burnt for a big play every single time.
Yep.
A scoop and score, 2 deep balls, one resulting in a Nick Turner touchdown, the other in a large gain that moved the Raiders from deep in their own territory to the Yellow Jacket 40. You just can't have those plays in a game of this magnitude. Evans tees it up at the 35, puts the right foot into it. It'll be fielded at the 3, brought across the 10 to the 20, now to the 25, 30, and the Mount Union return man, Darnell Williams, will be brought down at the 38-yard line of his own side of midfield.
Williams has been getting a lot of action in this game. He was the primary running back on the last Mount Union drive. He's the kick returner. I mean, he's definitely...
He's checking boxes today.
Absolutely.
He's doing a little bit of everything. 7:02 left to go in the first half. It's Mount Union 28, Baldwin Wallace 7. Mount Union with a 1st and 10 at its own 38-yard line. Sanders, the receiver on the left side of the formation. 2 receivers out on the right. That's Turner and Cooper. And 1 back in the backfield. Cooper motions right to left with a wing on the left side. Boudry takes the snap. He's looking long down the left side of the field. Over the middle, it's off of Turner's hands and into the hands of Sanders across midfield.
That was pure luck right there.
Can you get a half a catch on that one for Turner? Because he redirected that right into the hands of Cooper. Goodness gracious.
Overall, it was good defense by Baldwin Wallace. They took away the first and second looks for the quarterback. He was looking for that home run ball down the middle of the field because he saw that one deep safety, and they weren't giving it to him. The corners stayed on their man. They made it very difficult to throw through a window.
And yet Mount Union still gains 13 yards on the deflection. Boudry tucks it and runs it. Good pressure from the Yellow Jackets. He squirts around it and gets the ball close to the 40. It looks like they're going to mark him down at the 41, so call it a gain of 8 on first down.
Yeah, I think that that deflection that turned into a catch was a bit of a morale breaker.
100%, yeah. When you play it right and you take away the home run threat, you're thinking, all right, cool, everything's going to happen in front of us. And then, I mean, those are kind of the fluky plays that when you're good, those things happen to you. When you're trying to take that next step, those are the plays you have to watch out for.
Absolutely.
Sanders goes in motion and now is tight to the left side. Boudry takes the snap from midfield, throws it down the right side, and he overshoots Cooper at the 25.
And again, the Yellow Jackets take away the deep play. They have been making sure that on this drive they're not getting beat deep like they did earlier on in the game. I think that has been a concerted effort in response to the big play, quick strike ability of the Raiders offense.
Yeah, you have to respect it. You can't fear it, though.
Exactly. And I don't think that this defense is definitely showing no intimidation, despite the fact that they're down how much they are. I do feel like they're playing with a lot of toughness, and they're acting like this is just any other game. It's not, it is Mount, but still.
Boudry fakes the inside handoff, keeps it himself, gets to the 30, jukes around the defender to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and gets inside the 5. It'll be first and goal from the Yellow Jacket 2.
Boy, Boudry has some moves, doesn't he? That was something else. He's got that little fake out. He's got that little.
He's deceptive.
Yeah.
And he's very good at it.
A little shifty in the hips. And for a guy who, what was that word you used before? Wiry?
Yeah. 6 foot, 190-pound quarterback. Able to use all of his frame.
Yeah. Takes
the snap, hands off, and that's going to be another Purple Raider touchdown. As getting the ball across the goal line this time is Sean Thomas, the freshman running back out of Lima Central Catholic.
And he fought through that initial contact right by the line of scrimmage and got that extension before he hit the ground. That was just a really solid fundamental play, stretching for the additional yardage.
34-7, Mount Union in front, looking to tack on the 5th extra point of the game. And we'll see if pass goes a long snap. Is a little bit closer to the ground this time as Franklin had to come out of his crouch to get it down last time. This one's a better snap. It's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union 35, Baldwin Wallace 7, 5:02 left to go here in the first half. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospital's Trasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket football game on BWYellowJackets.com. Singleton and Love back deep to return for the Yellow Jackets. Merrick on to kick it away. It's teed up at the 35. Slight breeze at his back. Puts the right foot into it. And Singleton will field it at the 1. He had a good return last time, looking to duplicate it. He'll go up the middle this time across the 25 out to the 27-yard line before he is stopped by the Purple Raiders. So not as long, but still a decent return. Give you some space between you and the end zone.
was just glancing down at the sideline. You could see the defense was getting a bit of a pep talk down there. The whole defense was in a big huddle down here around the bench. I think they're gonna respond after that last drive on this next one. They came away looking pretty motivated.
You hope that is the case for the Yellow Jackets, that they are able to find a response.
But first, let's hope that the Yellow Jackets can replicate some of that activity that they were able to get on that last drive.
They have a 4-receiver look with Victor Ford Jr., the running back, in the backfield with Bubonics. 2 out left, 2 out right. Bubonics takes a snap. It's a quick drop to Love across the 35, and he will be stopped about 2 yards short. Nope, they're going to give him to the 36, so he'll be 1 yard short of a first down. Gain of 9.
That was a great opening play for this drive. Because now this gives you a whole cornucopia of options, if you will, for how you're going to attack this defense. And they have to they really have to stay at home and try to defend against, are you going to try to go for the home run ball on 2nd and short, because that's what a lot of teams like to do, or you're just going to kind of stay at home and pound it right up the middle?
3 receivers off left side, 1 off right side. And Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield. Bubonics takes the snap, hands it to Ford. He's got first down yardage and more out to the 40. Call it a gain of 4.
Ooh.
And a little chippiness, a little extra shove to one of the offensive linemen of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets by a Mountain Union player.
That was Von Factor that was doing the pushing there.
And that was Grant Davis, the senior right guard on the receiving end. Davis goes 6'3", 280. He doesn't get pushed around much. It takes a little bit of encouragement, should we say. So 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets from their own 40-yard line. Bunch 3 receivers to the left, 1 out wide right. Bubonics looks right, throws it left. It is complete to Connor Awad, and he gets the ball out to the 43. Called a gain of 3. Bring up 2nd and 7.
It's a nice job just taking the short stuff. The Raiders defense, they kind of backed up a little bit as they saw that 3-receiver bunch. 2 of them were working the upper levels.
Victor Ford Jr. cuts it outside, gets to the 45, to the 50, dives across midfield, first down yardage and more to the Mount Union 48. Yellow Jackets playing with a little tempo now.
Absolutely. And Victor Ford Jr., he's been looking for that play all game long, and he finally found the edge. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the passing game has suddenly shown up, and it's opening things up, that they're not just keying in on the run every single down.
Yeah, you can't be one-dimensional. Awad, the lone wide receiver, out to the left of the formation, 3 out wide right. Bubonics looking left, throws it. It's complete to Awad. Gets it to the 42, called a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Just chipping away.
Rossi Moore in on the stop. He came away with the football, but the play was whistled dead before the ball had squirted loose from Connor Awad's grip.
Yeah, I think Rossi Moore is always looking to make a big play.
You don't become a star player for the Mount Union Purple Raiders without it. Big pressure up front. Oh. And the Yellow Jackets benefit from a deflection as well, as it goes through Quinlan's hands right to Timmy Conwell at the Purple Raider 30. That's another Yellow Jacket first down.
That's a reminiscent of the Raiders play earlier. That was a deflection into the arms of a receiver.
I'm not sure if it was deflected. If it wasn't by much, and Conwell just settled right underneath it, hauled it in, and it caught it at the 30-yard line for first down yardage.
I think more realistically, it was a bit of a high ball.
We'll give Colin Quinlan some love, though.
Well, Quinlan did an excellent job.
He did a great job screening the defender because they thought it was incomplete.
And he got himself pretty wide open over the middle of the field.
Yeah, he ran a shorter slant route from the right side, and Conwell went a little deeper with his slant. And fortunately for the Yellow Jackets, he did.
Well, and that's how the Jackets have been beating the Raiders today, has been really by taking advantage of when the Purple Raiders defense backs up to try to cover some of the deep receivers. They're leaving stuff open underneath, and the Yellow Jackets have been taking advantage of that, especially on this drive.
Now's as good a time as any to take advantage of some miscues by the Purple Raiders. 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets, ball at the Mount Union 30-yard line. The 2-minute warning has happened. BW has 3 timeouts left, so plenty of time to hit the end zone once more. 3 receivers bunched left, 1 out wide right. Bubonics looks right. It's Mikel Love. Catches it at
Nice
the 25. Jukes around a defender. Changes direction. Gets the ball close to first down yardage at the 20. And it's going to be first down for the Yellow Jackets.
And Love comes back to the formation, nodding his head yes. And I agree. Yeah, absolutely. That was one heck of a play.
So first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets from the Mount Union 20. The clock stopped with Love going out of bounds, so 1:53 left on the second quarter clock. Bubonics takes the snap, looks to Love again on the out route and gets the ball to the 13-yard line, make it the 14. So a solid gain of 6 on first down to bring up 2nd and 4.
And the Yellow Jackets doing a good job with the snap count there. I don't know if you saw safety number 28, John Rowland.
He came up
quick. Exactly. And the offensive line was able to see it, pick it up. And Bubonics was able to pick it up and find his first read open on the opposite side of the field.
3 receivers out right. Connor Awad out left. Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield. Bubonics takes the snap, looks left the whole way. Awad catches him at the 5, and he's in for the Yellow Jacket touchdown. Another slant route equals 6 on the board for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets.
And they're killing the Raiders with these slant patterns. They do not have an answer for it. It's like they just aren't keeping any defenders in the middle of the field.
So we're playing Madden 2023.
Pretty much, yep.
It works.
Yep, the Yellow Jackets have the cheat codes.
Joseph Evans on to attempt the extra point. Looking to further cut into this Mount Union lead. Snap is back, the ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Baldwin Wallace now trails Mount Union 35-14 with 1:43 to go here in the second quarter of play. And now for the Yellow Jackets, what's most important, knowing that you have to kick off to start the second half, do not let Mount Union score before halftime.
Exactly. This is going to be all defense on this drive, and I think that's why they were getting that talking to on the sideline, that they were getting that hype up, because this is go time now. You're inside the 2-minute warning, or inside of 2 minutes rather than 2-minute warning, but you're inside of 2 minutes.
I got
now.
you. I understood what you were saying.
This is going to be one of those times where Mount Union could try to go up tempo here, and you cannot give up a big play.
Mount Union has 2 of their timeouts left. So time won't be too much of a factor, especially when you've got some home run hitters like Nick Turner that can take the top off a defense pretty quickly.
It's nice to see Baldwin Wallace starting to go blow for blow, though, on the last couple of offensive possessions.
They needed to. Now they just need to trade scores for stops.
I think this is one of those things where maybe they came into the game with a little bit of nerves, because they are going head-to-head with this team right now, and they feel every bit they're equal.
Evans tees it up at the 35, puts the right foot into it. It's a driving kick that will be fielded by Williams at the 7, gets it across the 10 to the 20, and he gets out of another tackle, gets to the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds.
They've been
He came up limping too. Williams hobbled a little bit.
They've been drawing up these kickoffs very well. They've been making it very difficult for the returner to get up to top speed, to get down the field. He always manages.
A 5-yard penalty against the Yellow Jackets for being offsides, and Mount Union will tack it onto the end of the run. So that should set Mount Union up right around its own 36-yard line.
You're all right, though. Williams does look shaken up, and
that's not good for Mount Union.
And you could see the frustration, the way he took off the chin straps. That body language says a lot. Looks like he's heading back to get taken a look at.
Yeah, we could see more of Sean Thomas and then Tyler Echeverry as well. We haven't really seen Echeverry. We haven't needed to see him since the first drive.
That's exactly, I think, what it comes down to, is they'll bring him back in if the game tightens up a little bit.
He's back in there now. It's a pistol formation with an H-back, offset left, 2 receivers in the formation.
Yellow Jackets think run.
Sanders in motion. It's a run to Echeverry. He's across the 45. Close to first down yardage. He should have it out to the 46.
Yeah. He's a heavy hitter.
He's one of the best in Mount Union, or at Mount Union, to do it. And that's a pretty impressive stat line when you think about it. 237 in 2 games, averaging 118.5 yards per game, already with 5 touchdowns on the year. We get some time put back on the clock. like 127 will be put back on the, or rather 5 seconds will be put on the clock to get us to 127. First and 10 Raiders from their own 46. Cooper goes in motion right to left. Fake the handoff to Echeverry. Boudry flares it out. It's complete to Thomas. He's got first down yardage and more, close to the 40. Looks like they're going to mark him out inside the 42, close to the 41-yard line of Yellow Jacket territory. It's another Purple Raider first down.
The presence of Echeverry on this drive, I think, says that the Raiders are taking the Yellow Jackets much more seriously than perhaps they were earlier on here in the second quarter. I mean, he just coming off that career game, 176 yards against John Carroll last week.
Boudry fakes the handoff, takes it himself, gets it across the 30, first down yardage and more down to the 29. And Mount Union is just owning the line of scrimmage on this drive. They are getting a tremendous push up front, and the Yellow Jackets are going backwards.
You can tell that there's a sense of urgency here that even though they have the lead, they know that they need to continue to build upon that lead with the way the Yellow Jackets offense has been performing in the last couple of possessions. Sanders
goes in motion left to right. Boudry looking down the field, completes it to May at the 17. He gets to the 11, and he's spun out of bounds. Another first down yardage play for the Purple Raiders to the Yellow Jacket 11. Less than a minute left to go. Play stopped on the play going out of bounds, or rather the time stopped with the play going out of bounds. So 59 seconds left for the Purple Raiders. Boudry takes the snap, hands off to Echeverry. He gets to the line of scrimmage, and Jordan Smith says, you know what? You're not getting any further against me. And he got some help with from linebacker Jonathan Dixon to finish off Echeverry.
It's nice to hear Smith's name called. He's been kind of quiet today statistically. He's one of those team leader guys, leader in sacks and leader of men.
Yellow Jackets have a lot of leadership up front. They're very much more experienced than they were a year ago on the defensive end.
Oh, wow.
Pass out to Sanders. He steps out of a tackle, gets to the 5, and gets into the end zone for another Mount Union Purple Raider touchdown.
It's another one of those missed tackles, and we've been seeing that time and time again. Those are the things that have really been undoing things for this Baldwin Wallace defense. They'll get there. They're in position.
They just can't finish it.
Yeah, you gotta wrap them up and bring them down.
So Merrick on to attempt extra point number 6. 22 seconds left in the first half. The snap is back. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union now with a 42-14 lead over Baldwin Wallace with less than 30 seconds left to go in the first half.
Now, that certainly wasn't the possession that the Yellow Jackets were hoping for.
No, it's soul-searching time for the Yellow Jackets. I'll be interested to see what they do here. If they can get a nice return from Singleton, you figure they've got to take a couple of shots towards the end zone. With 22 seconds left, you have three timeouts.
Yeah.
Mount Union has 2. That's inconsequential for them. They took one early in the first quarter. But right now, if you're the Yellow Jackets, get another good return and then try to get a score before halftime to cut the deficit, knowing especially that you've got to kick off to start the second half.
Could you imagine, though, if they're able to put points on the board here, even if it's a field goal, and then come back out of the locker room?
It's got to be something.
I know they've been going for, with the way the clock is, you just got to get in position.
Merrick tees it up at the 35. Singleton and Love back deep to return. Merrick right foots the ball down the field. It'll be fielded at the goal line by Singleton. He's across the 10, gets to the 15, spins out of a tackle at the 20, gets to the 25, can't step out, and gets crushed at the 27-yard line, where it'll be first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets with 14 seconds left.
Singleton kind of moving, came up a little gingerly. I think he might have planted his foot a little awkwardly coming out of that spin move.
It'll be first and 10 BW from its own 27-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be a kneel-down formation for the Yellow Jackets. Bubonics goes under center, flanked by Ford and Limburger. Loves the deep man, and Bubonics will put the right knee into the turf and bring an end to a very eventful first half as the Mount Union Purple Raiders will take a 42-14 lead into the halftime break here at Tressel Field from the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll have second half action for you, but until then, we will turn things over to the BW Pep Band and let you hear the sounds of the marching Yellow Jackets. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Matt Florjancic and Vince Fradiani on the call of today's homecoming bold and gold game for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets as they play host to the Mount Union Purple Raiders, the number 3 ranked team in the country. As we get set for the start of the second half, it's Mount Union 42, Baldwin Wallace 14. Mount Union will receive the third quarter kickoff. Taking a look at the first half statistics, team-wise, Mount Union with the advantage in first downs 16-12 and rush yards 146-25. Passing yards, Mount Union 206, Baldwin Wallace 137. Mount Union 9 of 12 passing the football, BW 18 of 24. So pretty good efficiency, 75% for each of the quarterbacks. Total offensive plays, BW with 162 yards on 41 plays, Mount Union 352 on 27, and keep in mind they also had a scoop and score touchdown as well. So plenty of opportunities there for the Purple Raiders to make plays, and they've put up 42 points. Here's a stat that jumps out to you. In just 10 minutes and 41 seconds of possession time, Baldwin Wallace has outpossessed Mount Union 19-19 to 10-41, and it's Mount Union who uses that quick, efficient, and effective offense to move the ball down the field and build a 42-14 advantage.
I think the two things jump off the stat sheet at halftime the most to me. One is the lack of production from the Baldwin Wallace running game. That has been kind of their bread and butter for the majority of the season, for a whole season so far.
Decades, too, by the way, before this year, too.
Of course. Well, but this year you have Bubonics, who's been an extremely efficient passer. Player of the week earlier this season, all that. The passing game has been a major factor, but the running game has been, the thing that everything is built upon. And the fact that they haven't been able to establish the run has really, I think, especially in the first, quarter and a half, really kind of put a grind in the gears of this whole thing. And the other thing that sticks out to me is the lack of a pass rush. Not necessarily a lack of a pass rush, but the lack of sacks. This is a team that has one of the better sacking teams in the entire conference, and so far today, they've had a big goose egg on the board in that statistic.
Yeah, they've been held without a sack against this Mount Union team, and that's a credit to Mount Union. I mean, they don't call them the machine for nothing.
Exactly.
These Purple Raiders are tough. Offensive line, you look at it, at left tackle, you've got Aiden Kanji, 6'2", 265. Left guard, Giovanni Kennedy, 6'1", 270. Center, Mason Fortner, 6'2", 290. Right guard, Jarrett Burris, 6'2", 285. Right tackle, Ben Lilly, 6'4", 305. I mean, when you're talking about 290, 285, and 305, you're not going to find many Division III schools that have that kind of size up front. I mean,
those are D1 measurables.
Back
those
when,
are NFL measurables.
Right. I was just going to say that, actually. Back when I first started covering Baldwin Wallace football when I was a student here in the early 2000s, no need to really put a year on that.
Once upon a time, story time with Matt Florjancic.
I mean, Mount Union's offensive line outweighed per man the Ohio State offensive line. They had a couple of D1 transfers in, and they had a bigger line than Ohio State.
That was always the thing back then, was always the D1 transfers were very much a big part of their recruiting process. And
they've continued to make their presence known throughout the history of this program. There are a couple of guys who transferred in that ended up playing in the NFL. Joseph Evans to tee up the second half kick. He'll put the right foot into it, and Williams will drop back. Good to see him unhobbled after he was hurt late in the first half. He returns it from the 2, gets out to the 30, to the 40. He's across midfield to the Yellow Jacket 40, and Joseph Evans laying the shoulder down to knock Williams out of bounds.
I wasn't sure if he was going to get there. He was taking an angle on Williams, and I really wasn't sure he was going to make it in time.
The Yellow Jackets obviously not happy with the return, but to a man, they're all giving Joseph Evans credit. He's collecting some high fives, some hand pounds, and some pats on the helmet.
Well, with the way that the Purple Raiders have been chipping away at the Yellow Jackets players throughout this game with a lot of kind of heavy-handed shots, you take what you can get.
Yeah, Joseph Evans not afraid to lower the shoulder and put Williams out of bounds. But unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, they've got some work to do as Mount Union return the ball all the way to the Yellow Jacket 30-yard line in order to be 1st and 10. And Boudry has 3 receivers in the set, 2 off right, 1 off left. Now a man in motion. That's the tight end, Drew Sims. And we'll have a stoppage before we get the first play of the second half. So penalty against Mount Union. Backs them up 5 to the Yellow Jacket 35-yard line.
You say that was on Boudry?
Yeah, I think it was a delay of game on the quarterback. So Sims, the tight end, he's a wing on the left side. 3 receivers set. Boudry fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself. Now he'll backwards pass it, and it's a lateral.
Was he behind? Was he over the line of scrimmage when he threw?
He was. He was a yard past the line of scrimmage. So Sanders' work gets the ball inside the 20, but Boudry threw it at the 34 behind the sticks. It was caught at the 36, and it'll be against Mountain Union for an illegal forward, or rather.
Or was that a lateral? Did they call it a lateral?
Well, it depends. We'll see. We'll send it down to the officials. I don't like speculating too much because every time I think I'm right, the officials say I'm wrong. So
exactly.
We'll let the officials settle it out. But clearly the receiver on that was behind the line of scrimmage, and it looks like,
or at least on the
should have been and clearly the motion went backwards, so that should be a lateral.
Well, the marker has moved back.
And they're going to pick up the flag, and one of the assistant coaches and the head coach for Baldwin Wallace are giving the linesman the business right now.
Yep.
Absolutely letting him have it. It's 1st and 10 at Mount Union at the Baldwin Wallace 19-yard line. So big play right there by Cooper.
Yeah, there seemed to be a little confusion there with the chain gang. They're kind of looking at each other and trying to figure out where the spot of the ball was.
3 receivers set with a tight end on the left side.
Oh.
Faked the handoff. Well, actually, Boudry wanted to give it to Echeverry, and the ball popped loose. And discretion, a better part of valor. Boudry just kept it and went backwards 1 yard for a loss.
And a little bit of miscommunication. It happens. Credit to Boudry for holding on to the football.
That ball popped up in the air, and he caught it.
Yep.
And that's not an easy thing to do, nor is it fun to know that the ball is loose and you've got defenders coming at you.
So now we have Echeverry and Darnell Williams on the field at the same time.
And it's a heavy set as they have a receiver, a wing on the right side, now a wing on the left side. That's Echeverry, and Williams in the backfield on Boudry's right side. He'll get it, run it between the tackles, down to the 16-yard line. So gain of 4. That'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
A very interesting deployment of the 2 running back formation with the pre-snap formation shift.
You don't typically see one of the best rushers in the Ohio Athletic Conference serve as a lead blocker, but you did on that play.
Lining up at a tight end spot, almost like an H-back.
So Boudry looking at the sideline, telling him, hey, get the play in quicker. We're running out of time here. They're under 10 on the play clock.
7 seconds. They've already had 1 offensive pre-snap play, or penalty, rather.
Boudry gets the snap with
Just
1 second
time.
on the clock. He's flushed. He goes to the right, gets it a 15 to the 10, first down yardage and more. But there is a piece of yellow laundry on the field at the 10-yard line. And it's going to be a hold against Mountain Union.
Yep. Yeah, the way that when those plays get a little busted early on, and you saw the way that Boudry.
So a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul would put it roughly at the 20 and make it 3rd and 11. They need the 19, or rather they need the 9, I should say, to get a first down. And we'll redo 3rd down. Go ahead.
Boudry looked very uncomfortable on that last play. From the minute he had the ball in his hands, he was immediately looking to scramble, and I'm not sure that was a design draw play.
It didn't look like it, but he made something out of nothing. Unfortunately, his offensive line got called for a hold. Boudry lofts it toward Cooper, and it's going to be incomplete. The Yellow Jackets, strong safety Alden Steele with the coverage. He never looked back for the ball, and it always can be dangerous for a defender.
I was a little worried about the laundry being on the field, but he put his hands up in the air like, it wasn't me, it wasn't me.
The Shaggy defense.
Exactly.
So Merrick on to attempt the field goal now. It'll be just shy of 40 yards. It looks like it's going to be about 37 and a half yards. It's going to be spotted between the 27 and 28. Franklin to hold. Pass go to snap. The snap is back. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Mount Union tacks on a field goal and now leads it 45-14 with 12:25 to go in the third quarter.
That was one of the messier drives that we've seen out of Mount Union so far today. There are penalties and all kinds of it seemed like there was some miscommunications.
Definitely with the sideline. You saw Boudry keep going like this, spinning his hand in motion like, hey, let's get it quicker. Come on.
Right.
We got an offense to go here.
There was issues with the play clock winding down too low. There were penalties. You saw Boudry just never looked comfortable back there on that entire drive, evidenced by how the drive stalled, and they were forced to kick that field goal.
While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, as well as City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket football game on BWYellowJackets.com. Merrick has it teed up at the 35. Charges and puts the right foot into it. It's a high arching kick that Singleton will settle under at the 8. Gets it across the 15 to the 20. Steps out of a tackle and plows his way to the 30-yard line. Where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
Good return. Got about 20 yards out of that. And, I'm never a big fan of the high kick that goes shallow. I feel like you're kind of gifting the other team field position because your gunners are never going to get down there in time to tackle them right at the spot.
Yeah, that's a tough road to hoe, but it's one that Mount Union decided to go with in the second half. We've seen a couple pop kicks as late in the first half and now here in the second half.
With the score the way it is, I wonder if we're going to see Mount Union try some different things. Maybe
could be.
Just to test out some things.
Conwell goes in motion right to left. Handoff goes to Limburger. He's across the 35 to the 40. Lowers the shoulder and runs through a defender out to the 44-yard line. First down, Yellow Jackets.
Looked like a Mack truck coming through.
Yeah. Limburger, not a fun guy to tackle. 5'10", 225. Fake the handoff. Does Bubonics. He'll flare it out to Quinlan. Quinlan into Mount Union territory to the 49-yard line. Call it a gain of 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3.
I like the use of those kind of screen passes, those short throws behind the line of scrimmage. It's kind of like an auxiliary run game.
Yeah, typically we've seen teams, especially one right up the road, have minimal, if no success running those screens. But Baldwin Wallace doing some work today on them. Kelleher on the slant, runs it over the middle, catches it from Bubonics at the Mount Union 43. Another Yellow Jacket first down.
And the ball was moving around a little bit on his chest, but he was able to get control of it by the time the tackles came in.
1st and 10 Yellow Jackets at the Mount Union 43. 11:09 left on a third quarter running clock.
They've been making heavy use of this trips formation with the bunch to the right here.
Yeah, and it's Conwell, Quinlan, and Kelleher. Kelleher steps back, catches it. He's going to lose 2 on the play. Maybe they'll give him forward progress. The one linesman says he was back to the line of scrimmage, and the other will take a step to his left and agree.
I think perhaps the Yellow Jackets went to the well one too many times with those short outside throws. I think the Raiders kind of figured out what they were doing.
Right. Well, now that you've gotten them to figure out and guess on the short game,
switch it up.
See if there's something that you can do long. 2 deep safeties standing at the Mount Union 30 and 28 respectively. Connor Awad goes in motion. Bubonics takes the shotgun snap, looks over the middle, sidearms a throw to Awad to the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 3. We're going to say 4 as they push it out to the 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd and medium. Call it 3rd and 6.
Yep. Once again, they go back to the slant, which has been their safety blanket, their safety net that's gotten them yardage down the field as an offense. It's really been one of the strongest aspects of their offense.
We'll see if they go back to that well now. As it's 3rd and 6, 3 receivers out left. Mikel Love, one-on-one on the right. Bubonics takes a snap at the hip, throws it over the middle deep, and he overshoots Conwell. Actually, the closest person to that was one of the Purple Raider defenders who had a chance at an interception. That was senior quarterback James Cheney, the 6 foot, 170-pound native of Sterling Heights, Michigan.
And it's a real shame, too, because Mikel Love was open underneath, and he had nobody covering him. It probably could have been a first down.
So 4-receiver set. The Yellow Jackets going for it on 4th down from the Mount Union 39. They need to get to the 33. Bubonics takes the snap, looks left all the way, throwing to the sideline. Quinlan with the reception off of the deflection. It looked like it was going to be incomplete, but the official says move those chains for the Yellow Jackets. Quinlan caught that on his back.
Quinlan continues to have a pretty solid game. He's been a reliable target.
So 4-receiver set once more. Quinlan will get it on the screen, get it across the 30, and he will be dropped by Rossi Moore, maybe to the 29. Nope, they're going to mark him right at the 30, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Once again, they've been giving him those same looks, a little too much of the same repetition perhaps offensively. The Purple Raiders have been able to kind of predict a lot of this stuff. Once the Yellow Jackets get something going, I think they want to try to ride it as long as they can.
Yep. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
4-receiver set, 3 out left. Bubonics snares the high snap, flares it out to Conwell. He's going to be brought down in the backfield. Credit Bubonics for not panicking in the pocket because that snap was above his head. And 6'1", 185 having to reach, way above his helmet to try and snare that. It was a good effort by the quarterback to not only snare it but then get it out.
Yeah, and I think you do want to have a quick release in those situations. However, credit to the offensive line. There was no pressure coming, so he really had some opportunity to kind of get a lay of the land once he got the ball under control.
4-receiver set. Mikel Love one-on-one on the right. Bubonics takes the snap. Looking, now he's flushed out to the left, throws it, and it's jumped by one of the Purple Raiders and sent to the ground incomplete. And you look on the defense, the pass coverage was senior safety Johnny Papish.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Conwell on the outside there. Conwell did a nice job realizing that Bubonics was flushed.
Papish in a load of pain on the Mount Union side of the field. He's being attended to, and we send out our well wishes to him. We'll reset for you during this official timeout. 8:08 left to go here in the third quarter. It's Mount Union 45, Baldwin Wallace 14. Baldwin Wallace driving inside Mount Union territory. When we reset, they'll have a 4th and 14 at the Mount Union 34. They need the 20 to get a first down. And Papish is up and walking to the sideline, albeit hobbled, but he's got a full head of steam getting to that Mount Union sideline.
But you know what? Up, moving around, that's what you want to see.
Beats the alternative for sure.
Exactly.
3 receivers out left. That's Conwell, Quinlan, and Connor Awad. 1 receiver out right. That's Mikel Love. Mount Union dropping 4 linebackers at the 24-yard line. Bubonics takes the snap. He's looking right, steps up, throws it over the middle, finds Quinlan at the 10, and that's a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Now it's just a matter of finding a soft spot in that defense. The Raiders run a lot of zone coverage, and there was an open spot in the middle of the field.
Well, Quinlan found it, and Bubonics found him with the throw. 4 receiver set once more. Love one-on-one on the right. Lindberger flanking Bubonics on the left side. Bubonics takes the snap, looks to his right, fakes it, and then throws it over the middle at the feet of Colin Quinlan. And Quinlan had 3 Purple Raiders on his hip pocket. That's where the field, when it gets condensed like that, it becomes very tough to find windows to throw into.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets have done a pretty good job moving the ball down the field at this point. But to your point, things do get a little crunchy down there. And the man coverage on the other receivers really made that the only option. I think the low throw was actually probably the best play. Take the incomplete pass.
Absolutely. Live to fight another down. Connor Awad, one-on-one coverage out top. Bubonics checks left, throws right. It's batted sky high into the air, and it's going to fall incomplete. One of the Purple Raiders had a chance at it. Linebacker Weston Arthur, the 5'10", 180-pound junior, had a beat on it, but was a step too slow.
I think the Yellow Jackets will take that as a gift. As we said on the last down, live to fight another day.
Yep, absolutely. So 3rd and 10, or I should say 3rd and goal from the 10 for the Yellow Jackets. 7:28 left to go here in the third quarter. It's Mountain Union 45, Baldwin Wallace 14.
I feel like we've had an interesting number of 3rd and goals from the 10 today.
Yeah, that's true. We have. 4 receivers set. Bubonics looks to the right, throws it for Kelleher, and he nearly had it. He ran a great route. He had a receiver or a defender draped all over him, and it hit him in the hands, but he wasn't able to snare it. I mean, he squared it up as well as you can, but a lot of heat. And when he came crashing to the ground, the ball squirted out.
Well, and that was tight coverage. I mean, he was throwing a 50-50 ball, and we've seen that a lot when the Yellow Jackets get into the red zone. They really start looking at, going to some of your bigger targets and trying to go for those jump balls and see what happens.
So 4 receiver look, 3 out left, 1 out right. Lindberger the back in the backfield. Bubonics takes the shotgun snap, fires it over the middle. It's complete, but it's going to be a yard short. And Mount Union holds once more as Kelleher catches it for a 9-yard gain. The only problem is the Yellow Jackets needed 10.
Yep.
So it's a turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 Purple Raiders at their own 1. And this is an opportunity for the Yellow Jacket defensive line to make a statement. You're talking about Jordan Smith, Bryce Sanders, Judah Reed, and Hasim Rashid. Now it's time to go to work. Pin your ears back and try to get one in the end zone for a safety.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see Jordan Smith have one of those big game-defining type of plays.
Jordan and Hasim are game wreckers when given the opportunity, but I think that speaks highly of the Mountain Union offensive line that they've been able to limit the effectiveness of this Yellow Jacket defensive front. Williams in the shotgun formation with Boudry. He'll take the snap. No, Boudry will take the snap. He's across the 5 to the 10. Lowers the shoulder, gets to the 15, and Mountain Union, just in the blink of an eye, is out of the shadow of their own end zone and out of trouble.
Yeah, not an enviable position for that defense. You had them backed up against the goal line and then a quarterback keeper. Boy, that's a tough way to give up a 15-yard play or 14-yard play.
No doubt. So 1st and 10 Purple Raiders at their own 15-yard line, I should say. 6:43 and counting on this third quarter clock. Boudry to take the snap in the shotgun formation. He'll look to pass. Looking deep, throws it over the middle. He has a man. It's deflected by Marquis Vereen, and he gets the pass breakup. Sanders was the intended target, and Vereen just got there and swatted it out of the air.
Yeah, they were jockeying for position down the field. It was really anybody's ball at that point.
So 2nd and 10 for the Purple Raiders from their own 15-yard line. Mountain Union in front, 45-14 with 6:31 to go in the third quarter.
Now they're keeping the offense pretty spread here. I think they're still trying to open up for something with an interior run here.
The handoff goes to Williams. He's turning the corner on the right edge. Gets to the 20, gets bottled up at the 21, and it will get no further. That'll bring up 3rd and short for this Mount Union offense. They need the 30. Check that. They need the 25, and the ball is spotted at the 21.
Well, the thing that's really worked for them on this drive so far have been runs that are kind of predicated on a bit of misdirection. So I'd expect to see more of the same here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've had some success, especially on the quarterback keepers. Boudry is deceptively good at keeping the ball. He takes a snap. He'll flare it out to Sanders. Sanders makes a nice leaping catch, gets across the 30, out past the 35, and he'll be out close to the 36-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Purple Raiders.
Had Bubonics on a little more of an accurate strike, I think that could have been a much bigger play than it actually was.
Boudry on the pass.
Sorry, Boudry. Sorry.
I got you. I knew what you meant. 1st and 10 Raiders at their own 36. 2 receivers out left, 1 out right. Boudry fakes the inside handoff. Now we'll scramble out to his left. He's going to throw it, and it'll be deflected out of bounds.
Jordan Smith got a piece of him after the play, or after the ball was thrown.
T.J. Hansel, the senior free safety, had coverage on a wide receiver, Jerry Cooper. And like you said, Boudry took a shot from Jordan Smith. Fortunately for the Yellow Jackets, no call.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a particularly violent hit. It was just kind of a, hey, just remember I'm here.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get a couple of those when Boudry still has the ball in his hands, though.
Right.
5:06 left to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 Raiders from their own 36. Cooper goes in motion left to right. Boudry takes the snap. Delayed handoff to Williams. He's across the 40 to the 45. It spins to the 47.
It's one of those little no-look handoffs. Did you see that? It kind of reminded me of that Oklahoma game. Was it the Idaho State, Oklahoma? Back in the Boise
You mean
State,
Boise State? Yeah. That still goes down as one of the best college football games I've seen, and the people of Norman would rather forget it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was just flipping through the channels, and I happened upon the end of that game. Very glad that I stopped on the channel at the time.
1st and 10 Raiders at their own 47. Boudry keeps it. Rashid giving chase, and he holds them up enough for strong safety Alden Steele to shoot in and drop the quarterback for a 2-yard loss.
It's a great play by Alden Steele.
Yeah, I mean, Rashid did a great job to set it up, too.
100%.
He stayed with Boudry. He ran step for step with him. He didn't try to take an angle and try to cut in on him. He just stayed in his lane, and that allowed Steele to come up from a strong safety spot and make the hit. 2nd and 12, Purple Raiders from their own 45. Boudry takes the snap.
Penetration.
He stepped up in the pocket, throws it over the middle, and it's going to be batted away from one of the Purple Raider receivers by T.J. Hansell. And like you said, Vince, Boudry had to put a little heat on that ball to get it out quickly because for the first time, the Yellow Jackets seemed to get some interior pressure.
Yeah, Alden Smith made a move to the inside, got right up the middle, and that's going to force the quarterback to do things he doesn't want to do.
3rd and long for the Purple Raiders. 3:44 left to go here in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 12 from the 45. They need the Yellow Jacket 43 to extend the drive.
This is the Yellow Jackets defense I think we've been waiting for all day is this type of play.
Boudry takes the snap. He's looking left. Pressure
collapses.
from the Yellow Jackets. They're holding him in the pocket so far. He'll muscle it down the field, and it will be caught by May at the 25-yard line.
I mean, everything was going right for the Yellow Jackets until the very end. Boudry just threw that up on a prayer, hoping that he had a receiver downfield who could make a play.
And Tyler May delivers with the answer of the prayer.
You did the Madden analogy earlier. It feels a lot like that right now.
That was definitely a Madden-type play. Boudry with a quick screen out gets to Cooper to the 20-yard line, and he's going to gain 5 on first down and make it 2nd and 5.
And they were very quickly back to the line of scrimmage after that play.
Keep the positive momentum going.
And keep the defense on the field.
Yeah, this a couple of substitution opportunities for the Yellow Jackets, not much. J.D. Krause comes in to replace Hasim Rashid. 2nd and 5. 3 receivers go out right, 1 out left. That's Sanders in one-on-one coverage on the left. Handoff goes inside to Williams. He's across the 20 to the 15. That's first down yardage.
Krause did a really good job of keeping his eyes in the backfield and figuring out where the ball was going before overcommitting to one way or the other. That's why he was there to make that tackle.
That's a smart play up front by him to limit the damage.
And he was coming in right off the bench, too, in relief. So that was his first play of action off the bench, and he already made a play.
So 1st and 10 Purple Raiders at the Yellow Jacket 15. Boudry takes a snap, sticks it in the pocket of Williams, and he is bottled up and dropped in the backfield. And like you said, J.D. Krause coming up with a big-time play in the run game. Had a little bit of help from his friend linebacker Nolan Hartzell to finish off the job and drop Williams for a 1-yard loss.
Looks like Tyler Smith checking back in there as well at the middle of the linebacking core.
Yep. He's in with Zach Soule and Jonathan Dixon.
And a long sustained drive like this, it's important to have fresh legs out there.
Boudry with a wing on the right side, takes a snap, fakes a handoff over the middle to Turner, and it's batted away by the Yellow Jackets. Colin Kaufman with the deflection. Kaufman had a pick 6 in the Yellow Jackets home opener against the Wittenberg Tigers.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. He looked very good on that.
He was matching Turner step for step. That's not easy. Turner proved it earlier. He can burn you deep. He's got that quick, explosive first step, and once he gets behind you, it's not a good day at the office if you're a defensive back.
The Yellow Jackets definitely have talent on this defense. They, they came into this game matching up very well on paper with the Raiders. You can tell that there are some obvious disparities here, but honestly, this Yellow Jackets defense is really starting to show up as advertised.
No doubt about it. They have come to play here late in this first half and then in the second half. Timeout on the field by the Mount Union Purple Raiders. That's their first of the second half. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Drzezinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leader since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket football game on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. 3rd and 11 for the Raiders from the Yellow Jackets 16-yard line. They need the 5 to keep the drive going. Boudry has 3 receivers bunched out right and Turner out left in one-on-one coverage. Williams in the backfield. Boudry fakes it, now throws deep to the right corner, and it is going to be broken up on the play. Vereen went for the pick. He couldn't snare it. The wide receiver for the Purple Raiders, Tyler May, tried, and it was batted away by free safety T.J. Gibbons.
The score says 45-14, and we're in the third quarter, and the Yellow Jackets are playing like it's the first quarter, and they're, down a touchdown. Like they're still playing with that same urgency, that same hustle to the football, and it just you gotta love the way that they have not given up on this game. They are still coming out. They are showing out for everybody that come to this game, for themselves, for family members. It's really nice in the spirit of competition to see this type of play.
Absolutely. A 34-yard field goal attempt is on the way, and that is no good. Merrick pushed it to the right. He was kicking from the left hash mark, and he sent that just to the right of the right upright. And that'll be a Yellow Jacket, result in a Yellow Jacket first down.
Yeah, you'll have that when you're kicking from the far side of a hash mark. Every once in a while, that type of issue will come in. And
that's the difference between the NFL hash marks and the college hash marks. The college hash marks are quite a bit wider than the uprights, whereas the NFL, it's straight line down the field.
Right.
It'll be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets.
Well, it's nice we don't have to worry about the kickoff here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're just figuring out where to spot the ball now on the left hash mark or the right. It'll be the right, and it'll be at the 20-yard line.
That makes sense. That's where it was kicked from.
And it'll be Charlie Bubonics in the shotgun formation with Victor Ford Jr. Bunch receivers left, 2 receivers out right. Fake the handoff inside to Victor Ford Jr. Bubonics taking it himself, and he got tripped up at about the 22, called a gain of 2 for the Yellow Jacket quarterback.
Yeah, the Raiders with good speed to the edge there to cut off the play. Well-designed play. It's just, when you have these guys who can, that are screaming across the field at a high rate of speed like that, it's hard to have an answer for that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Turn in the corner against the Mount Union defense.
I would like to see if the Jackets could do something with maybe a designed rollout to try to give the look of a run, but then be able to pull up and throw.
We shall see what the rest of the second half has in store for us. Victor Ford Jr. with the carry across the 25 to the 30 to the 35, and he's run out of bounds after a Yellow Jacket first down.
Great run. He just kept banging against the blocking and following his blocking to that right through the middle and then to the outside. A really nice looking run there. 1st
and 10 Yellow Jackets at their own 34-yard line.
Might be the last play of the third quarter.
The Yellow Jackets do not have to run another play. And they will not. They will take the deficit as it stands into the fourth quarter. It's Mount Union 45, Baldwin Wallace 14. We're going to step aside for a brief break. When we come back, fourth quarter action right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back, everybody, to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Matt Florjancic and Vince Fradiani on the call of today's game between the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. It's homecoming here at Baldwin Wallace Bold and Gold weekend, and BW is going to need some help in this fourth quarter to try and dig out of a 45-14 hole. Bubonics takes the first down and 10 snap, and when pressure got to him, he elected to just fall backwards at the 30-yard line. Loss of 4 on the play will bring up 2nd and 14.
Yeah, and the break in between quarters, the band was playing higher ground. I think the Yellow Jackets would like to try to find some higher ground offensively here.
It would be nice. It's 3 bunch receivers to the right, 1 out left. That's Connor Awad. Victor Ford Jr. in the backfield. The handoff goes to Victor Ford Jr. He stiff arms one defender, lowers the shoulder, gains back one of those lost yards, but will get no further, and it'll bring up 3rd and 13.
Well, you hate to be in a 3rd and long situation because you know exactly what the offense has to do to get down the field. I'll be curious to see how many different levels of the defense the receivers will try to work. If they're going to try to send somebody long to try to hit a home run, or if they're just going to try to get around the sticks to try to eke out a first down.
Connor Awad in one-on-one coverage to the left side of the formation. Bubonic steps up after pressure hits. He's going to tuck it and run it. Gets to the 40, slides at the 40, and he's going to be 4 yards short. Victor Ford Jr. was out there trying to block. And a handful of a Mount Union Purple Raiders jersey that did not get called for a hold, and it'll be 4th down for Baldwin Wallace.
Bubonics was staying on the field there for a minute. I thought maybe they were going to go for it.
At this point in the game,
why not?
Why not? You know, it's 4th and 4 from your own 40. Mount Union will drop back Tyler May to field the punt from Joseph Evans, who's standing at his 25.
Would like to see what they would have done on 4th down.
Conwell will snap it from his own 40. It's a clean snap. Evans puts the right foot into it. It's a side-winding punt that bounces at the 28 and rolls to a stop out of bounds at the 21. So good kick. Call it a punt of 39 yards for Joseph Evans. And he was kicking into a pretty stiff breeze that has now gone out of the north from northeast to southwest across Finnie Stadium's alignment.
Yeah, this is a weird wind game. We've had winds out of the east. That's a very weird thing to say. Usually it's always a wind out of the west or maybe the south.
Still dealing with remnants of Hurricane Helene, maybe?
I believe so. That's we're actually due for a little bit more of that a little later this afternoon.
So 1st and 10 Purple Raiders from their own 21-yard line. Boudry takes the snap over the middle, finds Turner at the 30, and he's going to spin to the 31. That's 1st down yardage for the Purple Raiders.
Well, we'll see if the Yellow Jackets can replicate some of that really good defense that we saw them put up on the last Raiders possession. Where they were getting in the backfield, they were making plays in the secondary. It was some pretty exciting football we were seeing from that D.
Yeah, they need to replicate that now. As Caden Viancourt has checked in, he'll play one of the defensive end spots opposite Jordan Smith. Handoff inside to Echeverry. He gets to the 35, spins out of a tackle, steps out of one at the 40, gets to midfield, and he's run out of bounds by the Yellow Jackets.
That was a tough break on that one. You could see, defenders kept trying to pull him down, just couldn't. 19
yards on the run that started up the middle between the tackles and then bounced outside. It's 1st and 10 Raiders from the 50-yard line. Cooper goes in motion right to left. He'll go in a slot on the left side.
Ooh,
Delayed handoff to Echeverry. He steps out of a tackle, but Dom Tromba is there to trip him up after a gain of 6.
A good call to catch that defense off guard with the delayed handoff. They sold pass all day on that one.
And you look at who's on the field for the Yellow Jacket defense. It's a run-stopping combination up front. It's J.D. Krause, Caden Viancourt on the ends, and then Judah Reed helping to stack up the middle with Bryce Sanders. Timeout on the field. It's by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. 11:10 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Mount Union 45, Baldwin Wallace 14. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospitals Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Tonight's game is also brought to you by City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company Risk and Insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket football game on BWYellowJackets.com. 2nd and 4 for the Purple Raiders from the Yellow Jacket 44-yard line. 3 receivers out to the left side of the formation, a wing on the left side. Now a man goes in motion.
Like 9 guys in the box right now defensively.
The flare pass is incomplete. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It had 6 points written all over it as tight end Matt Anderson had come onto the field for the first time really today and had nobody within 15 yards of him. The only problem was the ball was tipped at the line.
Yeah, that was the Yellow Jackets were loaded up against the run. That was a kind of a lucky break there. It's not the first time though that we've seen Boudry have a little bit of an issue with the control of the football, the accuracy.
The Yellow Jackets are going to need a timeout. They've got 9 defenders on the field. And they sent a 10th on, but
the coaches are not happy about that.
That's a miscomm on the coaches and between the coaches and the players right there. Just not a good situation, and BW has to burn their second timeout. Not what they wanted with 11:06 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Not sure what happened on the communication, but they sent off 3. They brought on 2, so they were already down a man, but they only had 10 on the field when those 3 came off, so they were down to 9 defenders against Mount Union.
We can always say there's miscommunication on the sideline, but also, if there's 9 guys on the defense, one of them should be counting each other to know that, hey, there's 8 other guys here.
Right. I need more guys. I've got guys, but I need more. And they were short too, and they got the timeout called.
They're keeping really shallow here.
Now they've got 11 on the field, and they've got 9 in the box, if you will. Boudry takes the snap. Plenty of time. Now late pressure comes in. They're going to get to him. The Yellow Jackets are going to get a sack as shooting in from his linebacker spot is Nolan Hartzell. And that's a big-time loss. That was a 3rd and 4 at the Yellow Jacket 44. How about this? A 4th down play now from the Mount Union 45-yard line. A loss of 11 brings up 4th and 15, I should say.
Yeah, that's a drive killer.
Colin Quinlan will drop back for the punt return. This is Mike Franklin, who's been great at holding, but on for the first time today. Franklin takes it, gets the right foot into it. It's going to bounce at the 16 and roll inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback.
Try as they may, they could not stop that ball from getting into the end zone.
It was really close to taking a left-handed turn and going right into what has been described previously as coffin corner inside the 5, but it skips into the end zone where it'll be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets from the 20-yard line.
Solid starting field position, and they didn't have to expel the energy of a kick return to do so.
Xavier Balson is in at quarterback now. He takes a snap. He hands off inside, and it's going to be pushed out to the 25-yard line. One of the reserve running backs for the Yellow Jackets, Josiah Sessler, a Fort Myers, Florida native.
Well, it's always a little frustrating when the game gets away from you, but at the same time, it lets you get a chance to see some of the depth that you have on the roster.
Yeah, and Bolson got in last week and did some nice things against actually against Capital, and they figure give him another shot. It's a shovel pass to Love, and he is going to be wrapped up and spun down at the 20. They gave him the 24. I think that was a little generous, but it was a loss of 1 on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and 6.
You can tell the tempo is really slowed down now.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets being very deliberate now rather than playing with tempo.
Yeah, for a little while they had really fired up, and I think now it's a, kind of a let's get some looks at some other things that that they might have priorities on.
Hey, you never know what the season's going to hold. You got to get guys some experience. Well, you can. Xavier Bolson takes a shotgun snap, looks right, now looks left over the middle, has Quinlan, and Quinlan dropped it and then got leveled for his troubles. He had it at the 45, and it went right through his hands.
Well, of course, the Yellow Jackets have the week off after this.
Yeah, the bye week comes at a good time for the Yellow Jackets. They'll regroup.
This will be a good one to regroup from. I think there's a lot to be learned from a game like this when you go up against a team with the talent of a Mount Union. You could put some things on tape that maybe on film that you wouldn't think of against perhaps a lesser opponent. And then they square up for Otterbein in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they get Otterbein here on the 12th. Evans gets the punt away. It's a high spiraling right-footed kick that's fielded at the 41-yard line. And they're going to actually march him back to the 40, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Purple Raiders. Yeah, Mount Union, or rather BW gets the bye, gets Otterbein at home, and it's a 2-game home stretch. One of two-game home stretches this year, because they'll be on the road across the county in University Heights on October 19th. Then they'll be at the Marietta Pioneers on October 26th before returning home for their final 2 home games of the year on November 2nd against Muskingum and November 9th against Ohio Northern before ending the regular season at Heidelberg on November 16th. 1st and 10, Purple Raiders from their own 40-yard line. And we have all sorts of early movement up front. I think pretty much everybody but the center moved on that one. And new quarterback into the game for Mount Union. In at quarterback now, Mikey Maloney, a 6-foot, 195-pound freshman from Concord Township and Painesville Riverside High School. False start on the Raiders, backs them up to the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 now.
Yeah, they're no strangers to the pre-snap penalties in this game. It's a little surprising.
Yeah, it has been a little surprising, but still they're able to overcome it. Maloney fakes the handoff, and he's brought down in the backfield. That's Nolan Hartzell once more coming up from the linebacker spot and making a great play. That's 2 plays on 2 consecutive drives that he's made in the backfield.
Yeah, he took a good angle, a little shallow off the line, shooting right into the backfield and cutting off the ability to turn the corner. Showing great speed into the backfield.
Yeah, and it's a delayed run at the ball too. He has to cover a lot of ground and not a lot of time.
Yep.
So Maloney now backed up into a 2nd and 18 as we near the 8-minute mark left in this 4th quarter. Maloney takes the snap, flares it out to Cooper. Cooper catches it up to the 35, up to the 39. So gains back almost all of the lost yardage from the penalty, and the play in the backfield by the Yellow Jackets brings up 3rd and 11 from the 39. They need midfield to keep the drive going. We have an injury timeout as Cooper is down right at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, he was rolling around there. I couldn't tell how badly he was hurt, but he's not moving well. Yeah, he's struggling to get back up to his feet here.
He's able to use some assistance from one of the coaches and the training staff to get up.
It's very ginger on that right leg. I don't know, that knee doesn't look like it's pointing in the right direction.
Yep.
Well, he's a little more stable as he gets moving, though. But,
yeah.
I don't think he's going to be playing for the rest of the game.
There's not really a need to at this point. I mean, Cooper's had a good game and done some good things, but you're going to need the young man as the season goes on. You've gotten through the 2 of the tougher opponents on your schedule in Baldwin Wallace and that team from University Heights. And now
You're just trying to stay healthy throughout the last 7:47 of this one. As your season's going to continue next week. You don't have the bye week. You already had it leading up to John Carroll. And that's always a tough thing. I mean, BW historically has had a second week bye, and that is very tough because that means you have to play 9 straight and then get into the playoffs and maybe play even more. Maloney takes the snap, drops back, then steps up, gets to the 40, 45, 50, 45, gets to the outside at the 40, gets drugged down inside the 30 by one of the Yellow Jacket defenders, Malik Duffy, the freshman cornerback. Duffy went for a ride on that one. Maloney with a full head of steam, playing much bigger than his listed weight of 180 pounds. 195, excuse me.
Yeah, and it almost seemed like an unnecessary quarterback keeper. Like, do you really want to throw yourself in harm's way? But when you have some of these guys who are further down on the depth chart, sometimes
they want to make plays.
Exactly.
This is their time.
Put something on the stat card.
Sean Thomas gets the handoff, gets across the 25, and gets to the 22-yard line.
It's just a solid bit of running work.
I mean, that's exactly how you would describe Mount Union, though. When you think of Mount Union, first thing that comes to your mind outside of the national championship tradition is just solid ball players. Mm-hmm. You don't get on this field with Raiders on the side of your helmet without working extremely hard.
Absolutely.
Maloney in the shotgun formation, 2nd and 5 from the Yellow Jacket 22. He takes the snap, fakes a handoff to Thomas. He'll keep it himself. Get over the 20. Bow up against one of the Yellow Jacket defenders. And really, it was kind of a stalemate that was blown to a stop at the 20-yard line by the official on the near side. And it'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Raiders.
Certainly not shying away from the contact, though.
No, he embraced it.
He didn't even fully lower the shoulder. He just kind of threw his chest into it.
Right, like, bring it. I'll be able to take it. And credit to him, he did. He knows how to play within his own size.
Yeah, well, and obviously keeping the ball on the ground is the way to go late in the game. Just keep the clock moving.
Maloney hands off to Thomas. He's across the 20, and he'll have just enough. He needed 3, and that's what he got. He got to the 17-yard line. It's 1st and 10, Purple Raiders.
They're inside of 5.5 to go, and Purple Raiders are just controlling the clock.
1st and 10, Purple Raiders from the Yellow Jacket 17 as we near the 5-minute mark left in this 4th quarter. It's Mount Union 45, Baldwin Wallace 14. A motion man goes left to right.
Ooh.
Maloney fakes a handoff, keeps it himself. He's across the 15, and he's going to be stopped at the 13-yard line. They'll call it a gain of 4 to bring up 2nd and 6.
And they got in the backfield, just over pursued a little bit. You can definitely tell the wind has been taken out of the sails of the Yellow Jackets at this point.
Yeah, they came in riding a 3-game winning streak. Knew it was going to be a tough battle, but started in a 21-point hole. And really, before they could blink, they had to step out of trouble. Maloney with a slant route finds Sanders, and that's a touchdown for the Purple Raiders.
Insult to, I don't want to say insult to injury, but it seemed a little unnecessary to take to the air on that play.
It's a final punctuation on what could be, or what will be, another Purple Raider victory, as they now are on to attempt another extra point, and it'll be Merrick who will do the honors with Franklin to hold and Pasco to snap. The snap is back, the ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. It's Mount Union 52, Baldwin Wallace 14, 4:12 left to go here in the 4th quarter. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you one final time that today's Yellow Jacket football game is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leader since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You are enjoying today's Yellow Jacket homecoming football game on BWYellowJackets.com. Merrick tees it up at the 35. Love and Singleton back deep to return for the Yellow Jackets. Merrick sends it away with the right foot, and Singleton will let it go over his head into the end zone, and it's a touchback for the Yellow Jackets.
John Carroll got their first win of the season?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. The lopsided scores as Ohio Northern beat Wilmington 59-3. Across the OAC, handoff goes inside, and it's Singleton on the run. Handoff from Xavier Bolson, and Singleton gets the ball out to the 27-yard line, gain of 2 to bring up 2nd and 8.
They have some reserve offensive linemen in, and this is a guy that I've really kind of wanted to see on the field. Josh Reed, 6'3", 330. That's earth moving size.
Yeah, and that's your center.
Yep, I like to see the one of the biggest possible people right in the middle of that offensive line, just moving earth.
I mean, you're talking about setting an anchor down on an offensive line right there.
I just want to see him blow up a nose tackle somewhere.
Balson takes the snap, fakes the pass, gets to the 30, gets run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And that will result in a gain of 3 to bring up 3rd and 5. Speaking of scores around Ohio, specifically the Ohio Athletic Conference, we'll get those to you in just a moment.
As we approach the final 3 minutes of play.
Marietta defeated Capital 54-10. John Carroll beat Heidelberg 48-10, and Ohio Northern 59-3 over Wilmington. Those are the 3 other games that will be played in the Ohio Athletic Conference this afternoon. Olsen takes the snap, fires it over the middle. It's complete, and the Yellow Jackets will have first down yardage as hauling in the reception for the Yellow Jackets is number 10, Dirk Hutchison, out of Malvern, Ohio.
Like to see the drive be sustained here. You'd hate to see, with this little bit of time on the clock, to have a drive stall. So it's nice to see them getting it going.
Other scores in Ohio across the North Coast Athletic Conference, the number 18 team in the country, DePaul, beat Oberlin at 72-0. Bolson takes the snap. Hands off to Singleton, tough inside running, gains close to 2 to bring up 2nd and 8. Hiram lost to Denison 35-0. Worcester lost to Kenyon 32-26 in a hotly contested battle. Then Wittenberg beat Howard Payne University in a non-conference action 36-29. And Franklin defeated Ohio Wesleyan 27-14.
It's tricky when you have a homecoming game and you draw one of the best teams in the country.
Not fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because, for the fans in attendance, they do get to see, one of the best teams in the country. But at the same time, you would prefer to have your homecoming game be something that's a little bit of a closer affair.
Or lopsided in your favor, I think is another way you could put it. Yeah. We're on the same page. We know what we're saying. We got it. It'll be 2nd and 6 after the timeout by the Yellow Jackets. The ball is spotted at the BW 43-yard line. Bolson takes the snap, hands off to Singleton, and Singleton's going to be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
There's just nowhere to go.
Nowhere at all. And they'll bring up 3rd and medium for the Yellow Jackets as we are under 2 minutes left to go in this one.
It's a tough defense to scheme around, too, because of the way they use their personnel. They have that one big nose tackle, and then Everybody else just kind of flies around. You know, their hybrid end linebacker. I mean, they can even play a little nickel corner.
And anytime you don't know where the heat's coming from and you can't really gauge it, it's very tough to game plan. Bolson takes it himself, gets it across midfield, gets an excellent double-leg takedown right there by the Mount Union defender, but not before BW gets another first down to the Mount Union 45-yard line in on a stop. Freshman safety from Nordonia, Ohio, and Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, number 18, Ricky Levac.
CVCA. Here we go, the final minute of action.
Under a minute on a running fourth quarter clock. It's Mount Union 52, Baldwin Wallace 14. Baldwin Wallace taking a snap from the Mount Union 45. Xavier Bolson at quarterback. He has a four-receiver set. Looks to his left. He's going to take off, get across midfield, get a gain of 2 yards, and he is brought down after that 2-yard gain. We do not have to run another play as the play clock has yet to wind, and we're under 30 seconds left to go here in this one.
Yeah, and the way they're kind of staying at home there, looks like that might be exactly what's going to happen here.
Bolson.
Well, I think there was a play call in from the sideline.
Bolson walking slowly back to the huddle, and we're under 10 seconds left to go now. We will see if the Yellow Jackets snap it.
This looks like a Hail Mary formation.
Bunch receivers out right. 3 seconds left, and Bolson's going to take the snap. He's going to hand off to the running back, and that is where the ball game will end as Josiah Sessler carries it for Baldwin Wallace to end today's game. It's Baldwin Wallace falling on Bold and Gold homecoming weekend as Mount Union comes in, the number 3 ranked team in the country. The Purple Raiders win it 52-14. And remember, the Yellow Jackets on a bye next week. They'll be next in action at home on October 12th when they host the Otterbein Cardinals in Ohio Athletic Conference action. For everyone here at Baldwin Wallace and my partner in the booth, Vince Fradiani, I'm Matt Florjancic saying make today better than yesterday and make tomorrow better than today. Have a great night, everybody, and as always, go Jackets.